of Ruben Amorim if Manchester United get knocked out of the league by lowly Grimsby. Will he come back from that? I'm not so sure he could.
But my point being is that they are expected to dispatch this Grimsby Town side, and already they're turning that Manchester United defence. And Harry Maguire, in the end away towards our left, has to put the ball out into this main stand on this near side. So Grimsby, in their black and white striped shirts and black shorts, are playing from right to left. And they've also started the season very, very well of Grimsby. They're fourth in League Two. As the ball is launched long downfield, Green will try and get forward from midfield at every opportunity. And Manchester United give the ball away through Cunha. And now it's threaded through out towards that far side, the right. The cross comes in, and it was just over the head of Charles Vernon. I was speaking to David Artell yesterday, and he was telling me that his side, or he wants his side, to play with freedom and not fear. Have that belief, embrace the challenge, be brave. And he was also saying that they look for crosses into the box at every opportunity, and in fact, with a bit of research, they've had the most touches in the penalty area in League Two, 156 already in the handful of games that they've played in League Two.
Is that right? That's a hell of a stat, isn't it? It was Dara Burns actually who fired the crossover. Fast start from Grimsby. Thought they may come out of the traps.
Sesko gets a touch with the head, hasn't really settled down for Manchester United, but now they can come forward, and it's Dorgu away on that far side. Dorgu running forward on the left corner of the penalty area. This is Cunha. Cunha floats it. Ahmad, more advanced than his right wing back role against Fulham at the weekend, forced out wide. Plays the ball back for Tyler Fredrickson, young defender. This is Mainu. He gets a touch in the midfield. Still speculation, of course, going on about Kobe Mainu. As Ahmad, fouled by Burnham, and referee Tony Harrington, inside 2 minutes, gives a free kick. Let's get an update in the tennis. Katie Smith.
Where the British number 2 Cam Norrie is a set to the good against Francisco Comensana, number 54 in the world from Argentina. A really tight first set in the second round here, edged by Cam Norrie on a tiebreak, 7-5.
And that tennis coverage continues on Sports Extra 2, the stream you can only find on BBC Radio Sounds, and it's until around midnight of day 5 of the US Open. We of course will keep in touch here on 5 Live. So free kick for Manchester United, 30 yards out from goal. It's right of centre, and it's 0-0 in the early stages. Cunha stands over it. Sesko, such a tall, lean figure at 6'5", the obvious target. 2 in the wall for Grimsby. Cunha to take it right-footed. Sliding was Maguire. And there was a foul there from Sesko anyway. And the flag was up, and it'll be a free kick to Grimsby. 0-0, Chris Sutton.
Yeah, it was a hell of a ball in, wasn't it, from Cunha. Got to say, really like that signing for Manchester United. Ball fizzed in just behind that Grimsby back line, and they just about scramble the ball clear. There's a foul on the Grimsby defender in the end. The most important thing from Grimsby's perspective is to really stay in the game. Don't let Manchester United take an early lead and sort of get their tails up.
Well, when 20 years ago they knocked out Tottenham, it was an 89th minute winner from Jean-Paul Kalala. Russell Slade was the manager, but Martin Jol fielded 10 internationals that included familiar names and familiar voices to 5 Live, with players such as Michael Brown, Paul Robinson and Andy Reid. They stayed in the game. There was extra time that occasion, not now. It goes straight to a penalty shootout. I said to David Artell yesterday, how do you approach it? Because I remember speaking with the Cowleys ahead of when they were, like you, a former Lincoln manager. They played Everton. They broke it down into 15-minute sections when you're up against a bigger side.
Yeah, I used to break it down smaller than that into sort of minute sections when I was Lincoln manager and pray for most of the game.
Rodgers gives the ball away at the back. Picked out by Warren. Plays it forward. And it will go out for a Grimsby throw over on that far side as late stragglers make their way into a couple of rows in front of us. Capacity of 9,052, 1,200 away fans. Behind that goal in the end away towards our left-hand side. As here is Cunha turning, playing the ball forward. Ahmad lays it off and actually won't reach Fredrickson, and the interception from Warren. Plays the ball forward. This is Gardner. Gardner with a cross. Downward header, not properly away in the penalty area. Grimsby try and keep it alive. Vernon keeps the ball in play. Down by the corner flag on the left-hand side. He now finds the left-back, Sweeney. Sweeney looking to try and deliver the cross, holds onto it though and is helped out by McJanet. McJanet with the cross, and there is Maguire to head it forcefully out of play for a throw. 0-0. Been a good 5 minutes for Grimsby.
It has been. There's a really good ball in from Cameron Gardner, left-hand side, hung the ball up at the far post, and wasn't a convincing header away by Aidan Heaven.
It's a throw on this near side for Sweeney to take. A little bit of movement laid off to him by Vernon. Vernon with his back to goal, able to turn left-hand side of the penalty area, stopped by Fredrickson, and he clears the ball away downfield, and that will go all the way through to Christy Pym, the Grimsby goalkeeper. In the Champions League, there's been a goal in Belgium. Watching Kenny Crawford.
Not good news for Rangers. Club Bruges 1, Rangers 0, which means it's 4-1 to the Belgians on aggregate. Nicola Tresoldi in his first start for the club since joining from Hanover. A diving header at the near post. Club Bruges 1, Rangers 0.
Another goal at Fulham, John Southall.
Second for Fulham, Fulham 2, Bristol City 0. Corner on the right hand side. Jimenez turned 8 yards out and planted it into the bottom left corner. His first was given as an own goal. No doubt about this one. Fulham 2, Bristol City 0.
And another goal for Aaron Paul at Oxford.
And a second for Brighton. Oxford 0, Brighton 2 this time. It's Brian Gruder, played through by Joel Veltman, able to just lash the ball past the goalkeeper. Too easy for the Seagulls. Oxford 0, Brighton 2.
Last night, Leeds United and Sunderland of Premier League opposition succumbed to sides a little bit lower down from them, but for Brighton and Fulham there's no such problems. Everton Mansfield remains 0-0. Meanwhile, Dorgu racing away on the left hand side for Manchester United. Goalless here in North Lincolnshire. This is 5 Live. Sesko outside the area, shoots right footed, comes through the rebound for Cunha, charged down quickly, ball spins up in the air and kept in play by the goalkeeper Christy Pym.
It's a really good block from Cameron McJanet, the Grimsby defender. Actually, Manchester United broke through the Grimsby high press. Grimsby aren't sitting back and worked it from one end to the other really well. Sesko initially with the shot, which was blocked, and then looked like Cunha would get a shot off, and he didn't do. McJanet got across and made the block.
Pym with a clearance, strikes it right footed. It's a header away by Ugarte in the midfield for Manchester United, and the header on by Green. Darlow's clearance actually struck the legs of Green. He will try to get forward at every opportunity, I can assure you. He didn't play against Accrington. They've made 4 changes from that 1-1 draw. For an unbeaten town, Grimsby Town. This is McEachran, plays the ball forward, looking for the run of Corey. Stopped by Mainu, and Mainu then just has to try and tidy up, and Dallow is the one who's forced to clear. Grimsby have certainly made a confident start 8 minutes in. Gardner gets there before Maguire, runs down towards the corner flag. Doesn't keep the ball in play though.
Do you know what? Grimsby have been really brave. They started the season so well, but playing against a Premier League outfit, a club the size of Manchester United, they have been really brave in the way they've played. Crosses into the box, the midfielders Corey and Green are getting up in support of Gardner, and it's a bit uncomfortable for Manchester United in these early stages.
I think that will have been another one of the messages from David Artell. I was telling him yesterday, just be yourselves, go out, enjoy the occasion. Can't necessarily express yourself if you're playing with fear. There's now been a sending off for Rangers. Kenny Crawford.
This is unfolding badly for the visitors. Club Bruges 1, Rangers 0, but they're also now a man down. Max Aarons sent off for a last man tug on Tristas Trolis. Club Bruges 1, Rangers 0.
That's not good for Rangers. We, of course, will have commentary from Ibrox on Sunday at 12 o'clock. In fact, our coverage will start at 10 to 12 on Sunday ahead of that game. But for what looks like going to be 2 exits for the 2 Glasgow Giants in the Champions League this week.
Yeah, not a good couple of nights for Scottish football by the sounds of it. Yeah, it doesn't sound like Rangers have any chance coming back there. Solis and Aaron's former teammates in at Norwich City.
Yes.
Opposing teams this evening.
Yeah, it was all the damage done really in that opening 30 minutes or so at Ibrox last week. Commentary of that is actually on Sports Extra 3, the stream on Sports Extra 3. You'll find that through the BBC Sounds app. Grimsby though 10 minutes in, 0-0, trying to take the game to Manchester United. Fredrickson, this young defender, steps out of defence, looks for Ahmed, met by a firm challenge by Cameron McJanet, and Ahmed has stayed down. welcome to Grimsby. It was a firm but fair challenge.
Yeah, it was a strong challenge from McJanet. Spoke about him making the block earlier on from Cunha and has left a bit on Kobe Mainu there, but look, Grimsby have to be physical, I think. I don't think that there was anything sinister there. Just a strong challenge.
Just looking at the way that back four is, it is McJanet who's the right back, and Tyrrell Warren, who started his career as a Manchester United youngster, is playing in that heart of the defence alongside Harvey Rogers.
Rogers out to right back, I think. Janet and Warren the centre halves.
Harvey Rogers, signed from, is a boyhood Leeds United fan, signed from Accrington a couple of years ago, so I'm sure he'll be relishing the opportunity to try and knock out Manchester United in this competition. We've heard from John Southall at Fulham and Oxford 0, Brighton 2 with Aaron Paul. What about Everton Mansfield Town? Mike Mane.
Everton 0, Mansfield 0. The home side starting to find their rhythm outside the 18-yard box. In it, not quite so slick. The Stags have been at the other end as well and posed a few questions of the Everton defence. Everton 0, Mansfield 0.
Thank you, Mike. Goal is here at Blundell Park. Here is Vernon collecting the ball midway through the Grimsby half, and the ball is hit downfield by Sweeney. Curry tries to get after it, comes off the head of Fredrickson, and out he'll go for a Grimsby throw as Ruben Amorim just takes a seat in the dugout, not too far in front of us here in this antiquated main stand, which I'm told has had a little bit of redevelopment work. Reinforced girders in the roof to take out one of the many stanchions that used to obscure your view whenever you came here. Sweeney with a teasing ball in. Gardner with a header, flags up on the far side, and it was caught by Andre Onana.
It was a good line from Manchester United. Early ball in, but Gardner was well offside.
Cunha, downward header, enters the penalty area, looks to get away from Rogers. Then there was a slip by the Grimsby defender, who was helped out by McJanet, who puts the ball away towards that far side. Cunha with his back to goal, left corner of the area, still 0-0. 5 Live Sport, BBC Sounds app. League Cup action tomorrow on 5 Live. We've got more live sport for you. Athletics in Zurich from 7 o'clock. And then a whole host of football to look forward to at the weekend. 6 Premier League commentaries and the Old Firm, as we've mentioned. As Dallow collects this ball on the right-hand side, chips it in towards the penalty area. Cunha with a placed header, blocked, comes out towards Ahmad, touches the ball towards Dallow. Dallow back towards Ahmad. Ahmad then just shuffles the ball short and along the ground. Mainu to Dallow, patient play by Manchester United. Playing from left to right as we look, 13 minutes played. This is Mainu. It was a rather loose ball that Fredrickson had to run all the way back almost to the halfway line to keep in play. Benfica 1, Fenerbahce 0 is a latest score in the Champions League playoff. That's actually the first goal in the tie. Earlier, incidentally, Ferencváros, who are now managed by Robbie Keane, who was part of that Tottenham side that lost here 20 years ago. They won in Azerbaijan, Karabag 2, Ferencváros 3, but Karabag actually go through 5-4 on aggregate. There could be some rather interesting trips for some English sides in the Champions League, and Kazakhstan, and the potential of a trip to the Arctic Circle to face Bodo Glimt in tomorrow's draw.
Yeah, they had I can't remember who they beat, but they won emphatically, didn't they? Bodo Glimt to qualify, and then so that's a couple of Kazakhstan teams into the Champions League then.
Is it?
Well, yeah. Carrot, Almaty. Can you remember they beat Celtic?
Yes.
Don't like to bring that up, Ian.
But, well, I didn't want to bring it up with you. Here is Curry, forward on this near side. A lot of travelling lies in wait for some. Manchester United will not be wanting to head back across that M62 with a defeat. They've got some defending to do on this near side now. A corner kick has been won by Grimsby, who I've got to say have approached this opening quarter of an hour very much on the front foot.
Well, they've been fearless, haven't they? Why shouldn't they be with their form this season?
Corner kick. Manchester United have everybody back, and it comes from the left. Oh, it was an awkward one. It was an in-swinger And I've got to say it was dropping, and Onana got the touch to that from Charles Vernham's in-swinging corner on this left-hand side.
That was a wicked corner. I think it was heading in, and Onana did well, actually. Starting position, centre of the goal, right-footed in-swinger. And he just got his left hand, back-pedalling, left hand, and flipped it over the bar.
We only sing when we're fishing, is the Grimsby Town chant, as it comes in from the corner kick. Headed out by Mainu, comes to Curry, plays his short ball in, and it was just prodded by an outstretched boot coming in off Tyrrell Warren, off his right foot, and it just guided it wide, and it went out for a goal kick. Manchester United don't seem to have settled at this stage.
Haven't really found any flow or rhythm. I mean, what you said, eight fresh starters for Manchester United, and you know that may be part of it, but you'd expect more in these opening stages against a League Two team, albeit a confident one, but no real flow so far.
Sesko challenged in the air by Warren, bouncing ball for McJanet, deals with it, heads it, Green just can't get there. Cunha tries to stab it back. This is Mainu using his strength and good balance, challenged by McEachran. McEachran gets a foot in, but the ball is released towards Ahmad. Ahmad comes forward and then overruns it, and he's annoyed at himself as he just swipes the air in disgust at himself, really, more than anything else. And it will run out of play, and it's a Manchester United throw in front of the main stand on this near side, the right, 0-0, 16 minutes played. And Dalot waiting, but not a great deal of movement, gets it back from Mainu. George McEachran, the younger brother of the former Chelsea youngster Josh, now plies his trade at Bristol Rovers in the midfield. He'll just sit there, he'll try and knit things together for Grimsby in the midfield. It's Tyler Fredrickson, only his third appearance for Manchester United, the England Youth International. Made his debut against Wolves last April. To Mainu, his first appearance of this season, first start here for Harry Maguire. He's only made a couple of appearances off the bench for a grand total of 13 minutes as Harry Maguire. But he leads Manchester United tonight, but being forced back by this Grimsby Town side.
Well, they've got their back three in place, Manchester United, and then they try and play with that box in midfield. Diallo and Cunha narrowing up. And Sesko at this moment in time has been pretty isolated, hasn't he, as that Manchester United centre forward.
Mainu plays it out towards Dorgu. Some threatening clouds are just starting, even though the darkness is descending here in this part of North East Lincolnshire. You can see some threatening clouds just starting to bubble up in that far side of the ground. There was a heavy rain shower, probably about 3:30 to 4:30 here this afternoon, as some of the Grimsby substitutes warm up in front of this main stand, and then it's been a rather pleasant evening after that on a humid night as it remains 0-0. Ugarte runs into a Grimsby Town player and is stopped in his tracks. And quickly back onto his feet was Green. Here is Fredrickson, passes the ball out wide. This is Dalot. His first touch there was a poor one and allowed Sweeney, the left back, to pass it all the way back to Christy Pym, who puts his right foot through that and gets plenty of distance on it. Maguire challenging there with young Cameron Gardner, who does well to release it to Vernham. Vernham now running forward, stopped by Maguire, left-hand side of the penalty area. Tony Harrington says there was no free kick. Out it goes to Dorgu, now with a switch of play from left to right. McJanet there will head it up in the air. And Grimsby urged on by this small capacity crowd, but an extremely vociferous one. Curry in the midfield. Vernham touches the ball for Sweeney. The left back edge of the area, stopped by Maguire, goes out of play for a Grimsby throw. Nearly 20 minutes played, and Grimsby are giving as good as they get.
Well, they've been better than Manchester United, that's the truth. Really positive in the way that they've set up. They've taken the game to United there, epitomised there by Sweeney. Little underlap and Vernham slipping him the ball, really pushing Manchester United back.
Sweeney gets it back from McEachran. McEachran now to McJanet. Warren is available. Sesko's got to do a lot of travelling, running at the minute to try and close down that Grimsby back line. As you've already alluded to, you know, at times he's cutting a rather isolated figure.
He couldn't. I doubt he'd ever have imagined when he signed for Manchester United his debut would be away at Grimsby. He's here now, and he could do with getting off to a flyer, couldn't he?
Well, the Sesko transfer fee alone, not his wages, just his transfer fee alone, is 13 times the amount of Grimsby's turnover for one season. So as they meet for the first time in 77 years, you know, that tells you everything about the challenge that faces a Grimsby Town side who are 4th in League Two, but are certainly not fazed by the challenge.
If you'd rocked up tonight and never seen a game of football before, you'd think that Grimsby were the superior team in this opening 20 minutes. 70 minutes to go, though.
Well, head down and pacing is Ruben Amorim, as this is Ugarte outside the centre circle. Fredrickson's forward ball. Ahmad just bobbles up for him, and then he actually catches his own player. Ugarte did Ahmad, and Green took full advantage with a forward ball now to Gardner. And he's got Burns on his right-hand side. Burns now with a cross. This is Burnham! Burnham scores! Grimsby Town deserve that! Utter delirium at Blundell Park! Charles Burnham with a sweet strike, right-footed, beat Andre Onana inside his near post. And Grimsby Town of League Two are leading Manchester United by a goal to nil.
Do you know what? They thoroughly deserve it. Winger to winger, ball switched from right to left, from Burns to Burnham, who took a touch inside the box and then hammered the ball past Onana at his near post. Maybe question marks over the Manchester United goalkeeper. But Grimsby have been brave. They've taken the game to Manchester United and thoroughly deserve the lead.
My word. This antiquated main stand, I can feel it vibrating, because everybody in a black and white shirt is up and out of their seats. I think an advertising hoarding might have given way over on the far side. There's a lot of stewards on that far side, that bottom tier of the family stand. They just erupted. Well, Manchester United have been second best. Grimsby thoroughly deserve it.
Yeah, and do you know what's been the difference, Ian, in these opening stages? I think commitment, you know, attitude, desire. It seems like Manchester United, the players have rocked up and they think it's going to happen for them. They're going to have to work at it.
Ball chipped forward. Manchester United goes out for a goal kick. Ruben Amorim now, as I'm sure you can hear, is dealing with that chant from the Grimsby fans, even in the main stand. Everywhere, just singing "You're getting sacked in the morning." It is a claustrophobic environment here at Blundell Park in every sense. And for Manchester United, only the second time in 35 years without European football, and during that stage then when they've been appearing in the second round of the League Cup, it's never boded well for them. York City, 30 years ago, they were knocked out in a two-legged affair by York. Paul Barnes, Harvey Barnes, his father, scored 2 in a 3-0 win in the first leg at Old Trafford. And then the last time they appeared at this stage, which was some 11 years ago, they lost 4-0 against MK Dons. And Manchester United are behind. And Grimsby Town with the opening goal. And now they've got something to protect. However, judging by the way that they're playing, they're still going to try and come forward, although now they've lost it. And this is Cunha. And Cunha comes infield into a central area, looking for the shot away. Ahmad goes for a curler. Didn't get the height, and it skidded along the surface, left-footed, and it was saved by Christy Pym.
Yeah, it's a careless pass over on the right-hand side for Grimsby, and then Cunha looked like he was going to get a shot off, popped the ball out to Diallo, who came inside on his left foot. I've got to say, though, Diallo's had a really sloppy start. A lot of poor touches. He hasn't got going, like a lot of other Manchester United players. But they must realise the enormity of this game and what it would mean for the manager. 8 changes, a lot of changes. There'll be question marks should Amorim have gone stronger with his starting lineup.
Ahmad picks it up over the halfway line. Dallow on this near side, the right. Manchester United looking for an equaliser. Mainu back to Fredriksson. Cunha drops deep. Fredriksson can't get the ball to Sesko. Dorgu's got his arms aloft on the far side and in a lot of space, but they can't get the ball over to that left-hand side. Still it remains on this near side, the right. Mainu tries to get away from Green. There's a little push in the back, threads it through. Sesko into the inside right channel of the penalty area with a cross. Headed away under pressure by Rodgers, and a free kick it goes. It is deafening inside Blundell Park.
It's so naive from Amad Diallo to foul the Grimsby player. I think it was Corey. Back to goal, edge of his box, bouncing ball. Diallo ploughs into the back of him. It's been awkward for Corey to manoeuvre the ball and get it cleared then, but there shouldn't be Manchester United players who are showing naivety. There's a difference in levels, of course there is in quality, but I've got to say Grimsby, they've been the better team, Ian.
Grimsby Town of League Two, leading 1-0. Dorgu with a leaping challenge to volley it away. Picked up by Rodgers. Dorgu goes into him for a 50-50 shoulder barge, and it'll be a Manchester United throw. I fear for Chloe in the studio. She's twice tried to tell me where to go, and because of the noise, it's Everton and Mike Maine.
Well, we've played 26 minutes. Everton 0, Mansfield 0. Jack Grealish has just spooned one over on the pullback. Liam Roberts has had to make two important saves for Mansfield, not least earlier from Alcaraz's drilled shot to the bottom left. But it is still Everton 0, Mansfield 0.
What about Fulham Bristol City, John Southall?
The lead Bristol City by 2
Come
goals
back
to
to in a
0.
minute. This is Sesko to the edge of the area. Sesko lets the shot steady, right-footed, effort blocked, comes to the edge of the area. Sorry, John.
Yeah, Fulham still leading by 2 goals to 0, but Bristol City responded well since that second. Mohamed had a goal disallowed for offside approaching half-time. Fulham 2, Bristol City 0.
And as there is just a let-up in the din of Blundell Park, I can make out that Aaron Paul will be standing by. Oxford United Brighton.
3 to the break at Oxford 0, Brighton 2. Brighton hunting for a third. Brian Gruder, who's bagged the second, looking and going closest for that third. Diogo Gomez with a loop ball into the box. Gruder's header straight in room, too easy for the visitors. Oxford 0, Brighton 2.
Burnham, the goal scorer, runs forward. Level with the penalty area on the left-hand side. Grimsby have a slender lead. A lead that was celebrated wildly inside this Blundell Park Stadium, and Gardner might have a second. Takes a ricochet. Does it go in? The referee says not, and has blown his whistle. There must have been a handball in there. It was a cross from the left. Gardner, I thought, had an opportunity, but I can only think that there was a use of the hand.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it did go in, but the referee's whistle had gone.
Yeah, I think it came off Gardner's hand. He's disputing that, but of course if the ball hits the arm and it's that particular goal scorer, and it should be disallowed, but blimey, they're putting Manchester United under pressure.
They are, and Gardner's in again now here. Tried to take it early in the inside left channel of the penalty area. Left-footed volley was blocked, ball hasn't got out of play. Burnham keeps it in, does the little step over, fires it in low, and it's Fredriksson who has to turn it behind for the corner kick. Worth pointing out as well that while that ball did go in the back of the net, there is no VAR at this stage of the competition. Although I suspect that have ruled that it was
it was the right decision from the referee. Manchester United, major problems down their right-hand side defensively.
Incidentally remains Benfica 0, Fenerbahce 0, because Benfica have had 2 goals ruled out by the aforementioned VAR. Grimsby Town leading Manchester United by a goal to 0. For what could be one of the biggest upsets in this competition. Certainly in the history of Grimsby Town. Corner, delivered, first, touchdown! Grimsby Town have increased their lead, and Manchester United now really do have problems. The corner taken short on the far side. It was delivered, there was a crowd of players that went for it, and it was just a tap-in. It was a tap-in for Tyrrell Warren, the former Manchester United youth player, almost on the goal line, and Manchester United could be facing an exit in the League Cup, and Grimsby could be celebrating one of the great nights in their history.
That's incredible, absolutely incredible. Ball whipped in from the left-hand side, right-footed. Onana was flapping and it's bundled over the line by Warren. And it's Manchester United who are like rabbits in the headlights. Onana comes, has an absolute shocker, misses it completely. It's a well-worked corner routine. But Onana comes, he's got to get it, he doesn't, misses it. It's popped in. The easiest of finishers. Where are Manchester United going to go from here?
What about Andre Onana? I mean, there's so many times that he's made mistakes. Really, he's got to be doing better.
Well, with both the goals, I think.
Tyrrell Warren, a Manchester United youth player. Then he was at Salford between 2016 and 19. In fact, his last goal was for Salford in February 2024. It's his first goal for Grimsby Town, and it's come against Manchester United for an occasion that he will never ever forget.
Well, what a wonderful, wonderful moment. But there's just such a difference in commitment, isn't there? Desire. I mean, there's no way, we're all thinking coming to the game that Ruben Amorim can lose this. But people are going to look at him completely differently if his Manchester United team go out this evening.
Well, it will ramp up the pressure and some on Ruben Amorim, who looks shell-shocked at the moment. Manchester United 2-0 down, Ahmad. And the thing is that they don't actually look like scoring. I can't recall them having a serious chance so far, as there was a flash of lightning behind the pontoon stand. Here is Sesko now, he shoots and it's saved by Christy Pym. That was probably their best effort. Christy Pym low down to his left, 32 minutes played, 2-0 Grimsby.
Yeah, good little diagonal run from Sesko. Harry Maguire stepping in from centre-half, central area. Sesko making the run. And a smart shot, but well saved at his near post from Pym. Good handling.
Another flash of lightning, I told you those clouds were threatening. In an update in the Champions League, Bruges Rangers, Kenny Crawford.
32 minutes gone, Club Bruges 2, 10-man Rangers 0. Hans Van Aken has just scored a towering header from a corner, and it's now 5-1 on aggregate to the Belgians. Club Bruges 2, Rangers 0.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra 3. Oxford United, Brighton and Hove Albion, Aaron Paul.
Oxford 0, Brighton 2 at the break. Brighton in first gear, stuck in cruise control. Boscalgi and Gruder have the goals for Fabian Hurt to the side. Oxford have just been very, very poor. Brighton lead here by 2-0.
Grimsby Town are leading Manchester United by 2-0. And on the balance of what we've witnessed in these 33 minutes, if there's to be a third goal, it's going to come from the League Two side again.
It looks that way. They are so brave and confident and have that understanding combinations in the final third. And you're watching Manchester United and they just look completely shell-shocked. Thought they were going to rock up in Grimsby and stroll this. And they're under severe pressure.
Well, Grimsby have got a free kick far side the right. About 10 yards up from the dead ball line on that far side. Burnham, I think, is going to take it, so this should be an outswinger. In it comes now, headed out by Mainu. And then it goes all the way back to Christy Pym. And certainly for Manchester United, they've got some, well, it could be a huge team talk for Ruben Amorim in 10 minutes' time.
And you know, I think he has to look to his bench at half-time. I mean, the truth is he could probably take off any of the Manchester United players. They've been that poor, that insipid, the performance in the first half so far.
Half-time at Fulham, John Southall.
Well, Fulham lead Bristol City by 2-0. They were 2 up after 21 minutes. Raul Jimenez to the fore. The opening goal, he pressurised the defender George Tanner and he bundled into his own net. The second, the Mexican swivelled 8 yards out and smashed into the bottom corner. Bristol City responded. Mehmeti had a goal disallowed for offside, but at half-time, Fulham 2, Bristol City 0.
The ironic cheers in the background whilst John was talking is that Dorgo's running forward on the far side, the left, and he's looked to try and send over a cross, and he's just fired it almost as a shot into the stand away towards our right.
It hit the top of the stand. I mean, remarkable. Yeah, we've got lightning over to our right-hand side. Maybe there's a storm brewing, Ian.
Well, there is a storm brewing, and Ruben Amorim knows all about that, bearing in mind that even before today, he had the lowest win rate across all permanent Manchester United managers since World War II. Many people will say they're not going to win the title. They're not in Europe. They've got 2 chances of silverware this season, and one of them is this League Cup competition, and they could be facing an exit at the first hurdle.
Yeah, and what an embarrassing exit it would be. I just, driving here today, Ian, thinking about what a big game this is for Manchester United. It may not have seemed on the face of things, but you're right, no European football. A team who finished 15th in the Premier League last season, who finished the season with a whimper, really. The start of this season, actually they've performed okay in the 2 Premier League games. Maybe they've been a bit of a red herring.
That was awful. Well, he's got Mbumo, he's got Xerxes, Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount on the bench.
Would you waste your time getting the better quality on?
He's got to salvage something. He's got to do something as Ruben Amorim. Fredrickson, incidentally, has just been booked for Manchester United as that free kick is taken short. The McEachran fires one in and that was blocked. Manchester United had everybody back, so there's no outball for them as the ball is played out once again towards Dara Burns on that far side, the right, and Burns sends over the cross, flicks on at the near post, nobody running into that central area to tap it in inside the 6-yard area. Dallow's able to play the ball away, but there is Sweeney. The desire levels are far greater for the League Two side. They are winning the balls, those 50-50s.
Well, the Grimsby left back jumping out of position, putting the Manchester United midfielder Kobe Mainoo under pressure, winning the ball back, penning Manchester United in. This is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. See what's happened in this first 36-37 minutes. Eventually, at the start of the game, you think Manchester United will get an element of control. Haven't seen it.
Well, he was saying in the build-up to this game, Ruben Amorim, that they're not equipped for Europe, so it was a positive that there are no distractions. The fact that they could be going out of the League Cup will mean that there are no distractions until the new year, when the FA Cup starts. I'm sure he didn't necessarily envisage that, but Dallow has just had to concede another corner. And I told you about how David Artell wants those balls in the box. At every opportunity, they're asking questions of this United defence.
Yeah, I say not equipped for Europe, they're not equipped for Grimsby at this moment in time, Ian, but that was just sheer panic from Dallow, who should have let the ball run out behind. Now his team have some more defending to do.
Corner kick, Burnham to take it, didn't beat the first man. However, Grimsby on the edge of the area will try and get to that loose ball, but they don't. And all of a sudden, Cunha, who's got Sesko breaking through the middle. Dorgo out wide on the left. Dorgo again now running forward midway through the Grimsby half, but look how many black and white striped shirts are back behind the ball. As Dorgo with the cross, Sesko was there. And Sweeney did well, the left back tucked in, and then a committed challenge by Harvey Rodgers on the far side. Out it goes for a throw.
Yeah, and do you know what, you're absolutely right, great observation. Grimsby, there are 4 or 5 of their players steaming back, running past Manchester United midfielders. Only Sesko in the box when that cross came in, and the ball actually went back across the box, and because no other Manchester United players could be bothered to bust a gut and run forward, there was no takers.
Even though I'm an old-timer, it's good to know that the peripheral vision still works, Christopher.
Dear me.
Here is Mainoo. That's how Chris greeted me on social media earlier. Here is...
That was a compliment. That was...
Old-timer, yeah, thanks. Free kick. Foul by Sweeney on Dallow. Grimsby lead 2-0. We've got just over 5 minutes to go to half-time. This free kick is right of centre. Although I joke about being an old-timer, I have got cramp already in my left calf. But this free kick does give Manchester United an opportunity to create something, because with the exception of a Sesko shot just past the half hour, they have created very little else in open play. Cunha then places the ball down, not quite 30 yards out from goal. That was a double flash there of lightning behind that stand, away towards our right. Grimsby have got everybody back, they've got two in the wall. Cunha to take it, clips it in now, bounces around in the area, Ahmad can't get there, and before it does, it's Curry to clear it. Played back in by Cunha, flicked on, and then Warren did ever so well under pressure to clear it away on the full. Ugarte plays it out towards Dorgu on the left-hand side. Dorgu tries to deliver the ball, runs on the outside now of Harvey Rodgers. He's held up a little bit and has to play it infield towards Mainu, 30 yards out, chips the ball forward into the penalty area. The acrobatic effort by Ahmad, the flag was up, wouldn't have counted. It was straight at Christy Pym, the goalkeeper, at head height, who now throws the ball out towards Vernon, and Vernon doesn't quite keep the ball in play as he almost stumbled his way into Ruben Amorim in that tiny technical area just in front of us here. 2-0 still to Grimsby Town.
Yeah, just watching the run of Amad Diallo, he went a second too early, should have held his run there. Great acrobatics, getting his leg up that high, amazing. Overhead kick, but the comfortable save from Pym.
4.5 minutes to go to the break. Kobbie Mainoo in possession for Manchester United. Plays it alongside him now to his left in the centre circle for Ugarte. Aidan Heaven, another young defender, out towards Dorgu, high up on the pitch on that far side. Infield now to Mainoo. McEachran will go towards him. Ball out to the Dallo, controls it now off his right thigh. Does a little step over. Dallo now stands over the cross. Sesko is there. Good save by Pym. And gets to the ball the second attempt. Flag had stayed down as well. Sesko just pushed his marker, or the lad in front of him, just to give himself a bit of more room. And the header was well claimed by Christy Pym.
He did well, down to his right-hand side. Darla with the cross, stands it up to the back post, and Sesko, big and strong, gets up, powers the header. He's disappointed he hasn't scored there, but had to generate all his own pace and power on that ball. Smart save.
So the last 10 minutes, Sesko's had a couple of opportunities. Gardner, willing runner. Maguire gets there first, should tidy up. Back it goes towards Onana. The ironic cheers as Onana passes the ball now to Aidan Heaven. And Heaven, that one bobbled a little bit for him before he could clear it away downfield. Sweeney wins the aerial challenge. Green heads it out towards this near side. Out of play, it goes for a throw. Benfica have now been given a goal, and they do lead Fenerbahce by 1-0. Talking of the Champions League, Bruges Rangers, Kenny Crawford.
This is getting messy. Club Bruges 3, Rangers 0, 6-1 on aggregate. This time it's Joaquin Says, the left back. His first effort off the post, but he was there to knock in the rebound. Club Bruges 3, Rangers 0.
Dorgu runs forward, pass it in low. It's commentary on Sports Extra 3. Talk about Ruben Amorim being under pressure. Russell Martin also under pressure north of the border.
Yep, not a good night for Russell in Brussels.
Here is Dorgu on the left. Sends over the cross, it's a deep one. It'll come all the way to Dallo on this near side, the right. Ahmad lets it run through towards Mainoo. Mainoo right corner of the area. Dallo. Now with Ahmad, able to face the way that Manchester United are playing, which is from left to right as we look. Here in the main stand at Blundell Park. Dallo comes in off the right touchline. Cunha just tried to roll away from McEachran. They kept the ball of Manchester United. Heaven, forward ball. No real width as Dorgu's come into a central area on that far side. Cunha's going to come in field and shape to shoot. And in the end, he's just closed down and chases after that ball himself. It'll be a Manchester United throw down by the corner flag.
I think it's the first time, isn't it, in the first half that they've actually really pinned Grimsby in. Grimsby can get in at 2-0. That would be absolutely enormous.
Here is Ahmad. Edge of the penalty area. Mainoo, first real sustained spell of pressure for Manchester United. Tells you everything really when you consider that we're almost at half time. Shot from Ugarte, that was blocked. Mainoo passes the ball with pace, and it goes past the outstretched leg of Ahmad and out for a goal kick. So if he's going to bring on either a Mason Mount, a Bruno Fernandes or a Brian Mbeumo, Who goes off? Because we know that he ain't going to change the system.
I think Ahmad has had a particularly poor first half. I'd get Burmo on. I wouldn't mess about. This is a game. I don't care what anybody says. Ruben Amorim cannot afford to lose this game. This would be total humiliation for him. It's a new season for him. There would have been a bit of patience, I suspect, from Manchester United fans, but you cannot lose to Grimsby. With respect to Grimsby.
Well, it has never happened in Manchester United's history to lose to a fourth-tier side. They are the 6-time winners of the League Cup as we are into 2 minutes of added-on time, and they find themselves 2-0 down. However, Kenny Crawford said it himself, getting messy in Belgium.
One-way traffic, Ian. Club Brugge 4, Rangers 0 on the night, 7-1 in aggregate, and as Joaquin says again, his second goal in 3 minutes, this time a lovely volley from 10 yards. Club Brugge 4, Rangers 0.
Thank you, Kenny. Commentary on Sports Extra 3 of that. The tennis is on Sports Extra 2, and coverage of the 100 is on Sports Extra. So a choice of listening more than ever before through the BBC network. Here we are on BBC Sounds and BBC Radio 5 live at Blundell Park. And I think even the most optimistic Grimsby Town supporter would have absolutely bitten your hand off if you'd have said at half-time you'd be leading by 2-0 at this stage. I think even in David Artell's mind, he was thinking would take probably being at 0-0 and still in the tie. But they've been terrific, Grimsby. Try and squeeze the ball through to Curry. Loses out there to Ahmad, runs into a central area. Stoppage time in the first half. Ahmad. Dello provides the width near side. Reaches the Portuguese international, runs forward. Sweeney backpedals to left-footed in swinging cross. Christy Pym, the goalkeeper, gave his defence a shout. One bounce and he dives forward onto it and gathers the ball in safely.
4 Manchester United players in the box, not one of them willing to make a run across that near post, and the ball gathered by Christy Pym.
His head is bowed, is Ruben Amorim. Not too sure what the equivalent would be in Portugal of a place like Blundell Park, with its antiquated surroundings. I'm not too sure that they've heard a roar like that for some time either. But the roar is because they are leading the mighty Manchester United, or the less so mighty, by 2-0. And David Artell, in the biggest match of his managerial career, is 45 minutes away from claiming the scalp of Manchester United after an outstanding first half performance from the League Two team.
Yep, Manchester United in that first half have been battered by Grimsby. Grimsby have been braver. They've just been better in every single department. They've been committed. They have a pattern of play, a way of playing, and thoroughly deserve this lead.
Well, the goal from Vernon beating Onana inside his near post after 22 minutes, and then Warren, a very scruffy goal, but who cares for Grimsby Town, almost on the goal line after Onana came from a corner that was taken short on the left, didn't collect it. They'd also had a goal disallowed. Sesko's had a couple of efforts at the other end, but Grimsby Town are well worth this lead, and it is a lead that has everybody smiling in this main stand at Blundell Park. Grimsby Town 2, Manchester United 0, and what a team talk now lies ahead for Ruben Amorim, because he's got 45 minutes in the second half to salvage it.
Chris will come on to Manchester United in a second, but what an effort from Grimsby Town. Quality, belief, determination. That half-time whistle sounded like a full-time whistle.
Yeah, absolutely, and just the way that, you know, they started the game. They started the game with intent, and then you think, I don't know what Dion thought, but you think, well, you know, can you keep this going for the entirety of the first half? And they got a foothold in the game. They took the game to Manchester United, played with confidence. Ian mentioned the crosses into the box. David Artell, a big advocate of that, and they have pummeled Manchester United. They've been brave. They've pressed Manchester United high, and they're a team who have shown commitment. Manchester United simply haven't.
Dion, thoughts?
Well done, Grimsby. I can clap my hands here, Steve, and just think Grimsby, if there was boxes to be ticked, They've ticked every single one. Their energy levels is brilliant. Out of possession, they've got into a great shape as well, found. Made it difficult for United. United have been, they've been terrible. Man United have been terrible. The crossing from the left's been terrible. I've got to say that Christy Pym, by the way, has been brilliant. That senior pro or that professional that knows the game, he's coming out, he's catching, he's picking the right time when to come out and make his presence felt. Good save down near post against Sheshko as well. So I can't fault Grimsby at all. Having been in a dressing room like that with no pressure, we mentioned it before the game, they've come out and just enjoyed themselves and worked hard. I'm delighted for them. I'm delighted for them.
On the other end, Andre Onana just picked up where Bayindir left off, didn't he?
Well, yeah, I don't know what he's doing, because if
neither does he.
Especially for the second one, and Chris will tell you as well, for the second one.
Second one's awful.
Yeah, for the second one, you're thinking to yourself, well, hold it a minute. If me and Chris heard a shout of keepers, we're getting out of the way, by the way. But there's nothing at all. It's just a half-hearted come and get it. I'd be absolutely livid with my keeper doing that. I'd expect to get smashed out the way if my keeper's coming for a cross. Nothing at all. And you know the worst thing as well, it's accepted. That's one of the problems. It's accepted. Nobody says to anybody, what are you doing? And that down to the defenders, the keeper, everybody. They don't hold each other up for account. It's just terrible.
Thing is, Chris. Go on, Chris.
Do you know what, Steve? I honestly, if Grimsby win tonight, I honestly, I don't think this is knee jerk. I don't know whether Ruben Amorim can come back from this. It's such an enormous game. Ian Dennis said in commentary, no European football. The League Cup is a really important competition, and the perception to lose, not just to lose, but the manner in which they've played the first half. If I'm Ruben Amorim, I am getting all my big hitters on at half-time. I'm not messing about. I'm not letting this game drift. I'm getting Bruno Fernandes on. I'm getting Mbeumo on. I'm getting Mason Mount on. I'm getting better quality on. He needs to win this game, Ruben Amorim.
And you know what as well? Grimsby have come out with great energy, of course they have, but Man United have played the game so slowly. If they were really at the top of their game, they'd be bouncing it about like they have to do on a Premier League day. If they were to do that, the energy would run out sooner or later for Grimsby. What Grimsby are doing, they're working really hard, and Man United are passing the ball so slowly that they're getting the ball back in high positions and they're creating more chances. Man United are just digging their own grave. It's terrible.
I cannot wait for the full-time discussion, guys. Whatever happens in the second half, either we'll be talking about a big comeback and a massive sigh of relief, or we'll be talking about League Two Grimsby Town knocking out Manchester United. I've written, can Ruben Amorim come back from this, as a good question.
Steve, you know what? As a Man United player in that dressing room right now, I'd be pretty embarrassed as I walked in. I'd be pretty embarrassed walking off the pitch. You have to be, because you cannot... This cannot happen. It's Manchester United. They're playing like a non-league side, with all due respect to non-league sides. They're probably better than Man United at the moment. And Grimsby have gone out with a professional attitude. They've stuck to their game. They've given blood, sweat and tears. They've got themselves a couple of chances. They're not refusing to the cross the ball. And there's still 45 minutes left. They've got something to hold on to, Grimsby. And you know what? If they play like they did in the first half, they'll hold on to it.
Great stuff, Dion, Chris, Ian, thank you all for the time being. So a big shock on the cards at Blundell, just not in Bruges, Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Rangers, Steve, there's still 45 minutes left for them as well. Half-time, Club Bruges 5, 10-man Rangers 0, which means it's 8-1 on aggregate to the Belgians, who took the lead on 5 minutes through Italy-born German under-21 striker Nicola Trizoldi. A lovely diving header. After that, it totally unravelled. 8 minutes gone, Rangers reduced to 10 men. Max Aarons sent off for hauling back Christos Tsiolis. Further goals from Hans Vanaken, Joaquin Sai's double, and Alexander Stankovic have followed. Damage limitation, a serious case of it for Rangers now, who trail Club Bruges 5-0 on the night and 8-1 on aggregate.
You'll be able to listen to second half commentary on Sports Extra 3. Back into the League Cup second round, half-time in the delayed kick-off, Everton-Mansfield. Mike Maine.
Yeah, those fans might be wishing they didn't turn up after all. For the home side, Grealish over the bar from 12 yards. Alcaraz denied low by Roberts. Armstrong with a weak effort. But the last 5 minutes of the first half was Mansfield's. Plenty of possession in the Everton half. Everton 0, Mansfield 0.
So those were 8 o'clock kickoffs. The two 7:45s are into the second halves. Fulham, Bristol City. John Southall.
Fulham lead by 2-0. Could have been 3. Traore on the right of the area. Great strike, pushed away by Lumley. Can Bristol City make a game of this? Fulham 2, Bristol City 0.
Which leaves us with Oxford United, Brighton. Aaron Paul.
Brighton 2 goals to the good Hill, two first half goals to the good here. Close to a third as well. Harry Howell making his first start, able to receive the ball, didn't really realise he was going to get it, couldn't quite turn and get the shot away. Oxford 0, Brighton 2.
Right, big night on 5 Live Sport with Manchester United trailing Grimsby Town at Blundell Park 2-0 at half-time in the League Cup. So second half commentary on the way. Before that, we'll keep you up to date with the 100, with the US Open tennis, which you can listen to right now on 5 Sports Extra. Cam Norrie in action. We're going to hear from Emily Scarratt, who's made history by becoming the first England player to appear at 5 Rugby World Cups. After the news on 5 Live with Tim Daly.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Good evening. 2 young children aged 8 and 10 have been killed in a school shooting in Minneapolis in the United States. 17 others have been injured after it happened during a mass called to mark the first week of classes at a Catholic school. Shots were fired through the windows. The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, has given an emotional address to reporters.
These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
A White House official says President Trump has hosted a policy meeting in Washington to discuss plans for Gaza once the war there ends. The former Prime Minister, Sir Tony Blair, was there, along with President Trump's son-in-law and former advisor Jared Kushner. The official said they all discussed all aspects of the Gaza issue. The trial of an asylum seeker who was living at the Bell Hotel in Epping and is accused of sexual assaults in the town has heard he told a teenage girl she would be a good wife. 41-year-old Hadash Kabatu denies the charges against him. They include sexual assault, harassment and inciting a child into sexual activity. The trial continues. And the Crown Prosecution Service says it will not be bringing any charges against the far-right activist Tommy Robinson over an alleged assault. The 42-year-old was arrested last month after a video posted online showed him near a man who was lying face down on the floor at St Pancras Station in London. And that's the news so far this evening on 5 Live.
In 2002, UK indie was sweeping the nation.
A really vibrant British music scene.
But just 6 years later, the genre was branded landfill indie.
The rise and fall of indie sleaze.
This is the story of this millennium's most influential bands.
The lyrics felt like they were speaking to me.
It was really exciting.
Exploring the music, the fun, the tabloid frenzy, the destructive behaviour.
There was a fanaticism to the people coming to the gigs.
Ride the highs and lows of noughties UK guitar music with me, Kate Nash.
It has really gone a bit silly, hasn't it?
The rise and fall of indie sleaze.
Search Indie Sleaze on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Right, Grimsby 2, Manchester United 0. Second half commentary from the League Cup on the way. England women got their Rugby World Cup campaign off to a winning start on Friday, which included a massive moment for Emily Scarratt, who became the first England player to appear at 5 Rugby World Cups. She's been telling us that at first she had no idea she was about to go down in history.
It's obviously one of those things that I wasn't aware of until it was pointed out to me. It's very cool. It makes you probably feel a little bit old and makes your body hurt a bit more, but otherwise, yeah, all pretty similar. But yeah, the girls were really sweet last week in terms of celebrating it and stuff, which was nice. But yeah, it's obviously part of a much bigger job, so not to dwell on it too much.
But did you have a chance to do some celebrations or mark it after that brilliant win against USA?
Yeah, singing on the bus. You don't get away with anything in this place. Yeah, that was it. Genuinely it, really. Obviously, as I say, when I was about to go onto the field and afterwards, everyone was incredibly nice about it and wanted to congratulate me and stuff, which is really cool, as did obviously lots of people there. But yeah, I think singing on the bus is the main way that we tend to mark occasions, which you would think should be a nice thing, but it wasn't the best. But
what did you have to sing?
I sang Wagon Wheel, so it's a bit of a crowd favourite.
Oh, yeah.
The bus was happy about that.
I won't ask you to sing now. It's
No,
okay.
don't. Please don't.
I won't. So how is the feeling in the camp this week? How's training been?
Yeah, really good. It's one of those things, isn't it? You have pre-season for so long, you just want to get going. And obviously now we're actually going and we're into it. Mood's good, vibes are high. Obviously we've moved, we travelled down south. We're now here in Northampton. The sun's come back for us. And yeah, just really looking forward to obviously getting out there again this weekend. Yeah, and just continue to build and show what we're about, obviously moving through this tournament.
Emily Scarrett with 5 Live's Victoria Turner. England-Samoa is on 5 Sports Extra on Saturday, kick-off at 5 o'clock. If you haven't listened yet, there are 2 other Red Roses, Meg Jones and Hannah Bottoman, on Barely Rugby. That's on the Rugby Union weekly feed each week during the Women's World Cup. It's very funny. It's definitely worth a listen. Right now, 5 Sports Extra US Open tennis. Today so far, 1 Brit through to the 3rd round, 1 out injured, 1 currently on court. Russell Fuller's in the commentary box in New York.
Yes, the headlines are that Jack Draper will play no further part in the US Open because of discomfort in his left arm. This was bone bruising that originally was scanned just after Wimbledon, which prevented him serving for a month and playing at all in the 2 big ATP events in the build-up to this US Open. Got through his first round, but after a practice session today felt there was too much discomfort in the arm, although we're told the injury has healed and Jack Draper has taken the decision to withdraw. And there are question marks now about whether he can qualify for the ATP finals at the end of the year. He's currently in the 7th of 8 qualifying positions, but if he does face another spell on the sidelines, he may not earn enough ranking points to play in Turin, even assuming he's fit to play in the middle of November. Ken Skupski is with us, part of our commentary team on 5 Sports Extra on BBC Sounds. And the news of Cameron Norrie, Ken, is good. He leads Francisco Comesaña, ranked 19 places below him, 7-6, 6-3, 1-all in the 3rd, but he looks like he's got the measure of this Argentine at the moment.
Yeah, he's played great. He was down early in the match, breakdown, found his way back into it, really did a great job of getting through that first set tie break with some great serving. And he's sort of taken control in that second set. He'd like to get through this in 3 straight sets with the opportunity to then go on and play Novak Djokovic on Friday.
Who came through, not looking convincing. He is 38. He's also a 24-time Grand Slam champion. So one to look forward to if Norrie can win one of the next 3 sets. Emma Raducanu, very good, very efficient, 6-2, 6-1 against the Indonesian qualified Janice Chen. And she is joined in the 3rd round, Steve, by Victoria Azarenka, 3 times a runner-up here, last year's runner-up Jessica Pegula, and also a top 10 player in Emma Navarro of the United States.
Thank you very much, guys. Coverage continues on 5 Sports Extra. Right, Ruben Amorim's just thrown the kitchen sink at it, Ian. Let's go.
Yeah, already underway here at Blundell Park, and Ruben Amorim has made 3 changes at half-time as they look to try and fight back from 2-0 down in the next 45 minutes. Otherwise, they will be facing an exit in this League Cup competition. De Ligt has come on for young Tyler Fredrickson in the defence. Patrick Dorgu has made way. Brian Mbumo has come on for him. Bruno Fernandes has come on for Ugarte in the midfield. So looking how they're lining up now, they've got Onana in goal, a back 3 of Heaven, Maguire and De Ligt. Dallo has switched to left wing back. Ahmad drops in at right wing back on the far side. Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo with Acuna, Mbumo and Sesko. Manchester United, red shirts, white shorts, playing from right to left as we look, and a cross comes in from the left hand side and Mbumo is there. He plays it back, headed goalwards, headed out then by Warren, edge of the area, not controlled by Heaven and cleared away by Green. And then giving chase is the young striker Cameron Gardner, who joined the club at the age of 16 from Gateshead's Academy and has worked his socks off so far tonight for Grimsby Town in these black and white striped shirts and black shorts as they play from left to right with Christy Pym in goal, a back 4 of Harvey Rogers, Tyrrell Warren, Cameron McJanet and Jayden Sweeney, George McEachran, Evan Curry, Kieran Green, Charles Vernam, Cameron Gardner and Dara Burns. And the goals in the first half from Vernam and Warren. Manchester United, what about the response? We'll find out now. Cunha tries to roll it in. Mbumo into the penalty area, can't keep the ball in play, and that will be a goal kick. Another goal elsewhere in the competition at Oxford, Aaron Paul.
Oxford 0, Brighton 3. This one done and dusted. Diego Gomez prodding the ball home from point blank range. Felt kind of embarrassed to celebrate. Oxford 0, Brighton 3.
Well, You said it earlier, Chris, about the storm clouds are gathering. We've still got the lightning in the distance. Rain now pouring down here in north-east Lincolnshire. And this is a massive 45 minutes for Manchester United, and in particular their beleaguered head coach. But Green drives forward for Grimsby. Forward ball, and couldn't take it in his stride. Young Cameron Gardner, 19 years of age, scooped up by Onana.
I tell you what, had he had a better first touch, he would have been in on goal, 1v1. Yeah, you're right about the weather and Manchester United's performance in Grimsby, League Two and all that. So far, I've never known a night like it, Ian.
Throw from Rodgers. Green volleys the ball out offside on this near side by Dara Burns. And Grimsby now, well, they've won their previous 3 home games here this season. They've scored at least 2 in all of those 3, so at least they've maintained that record. They've opened the scoring in 6 of their 7 games this season. They've got a manager here in David Artell who is positive, he's forward-thinking.
Yeah, he's done a brilliant job. He did a fair job at Crewe as well. I was speaking to the owner earlier. They earmarked him, went after him, got him, and the team are really hopeful of promotion from League Two this season. But this is an eye-opener, Ian, this evening. How well Grimsby have played against the might of Manchester United.
Copenhagen 1, Basel 0 is the latest score. It means that the Danish side have a 2-1 lead on aggregate in the Champions League playoffs. The draw for that is tomorrow. The third round of this competition takes place after this tie, and it will be spread out across 2 weeks because of the designated Champions League week and then the following designated Europa League week. As De Ligt hits a raking long ball downfield, a teeming rain now here in Cleethorpes. As Sesko, with his back to goal, dispossessed, and all of a sudden Curry comes away with it and plays it out towards Burnham, who got the first goal. Burnham's forward ball, Curry's continued the run, helps it on its way, Green, 2 weight in the middle, Green pulls it back, Burns is there, oh, he's put it wide. Dara Burns, I'm not too sure whether it was slightly behind him, got a touch on its way behind for a corner kick, just didn't seem to strike it cleanly.
Well, this is amazing. Grimsby are 3-on-1 in the penalty box, and that really should have been game, set and match. And as Burns, when the ball's pulled back to him, I think he should go back the same side past Onana. He doesn't, tries to whip it and beat Onana, who flings himself to his left. I think a Manchester United defender may have got back and made the block. What a chance to go 3-0 up though for Grimsby.
Torrential rain pouring down, conditions that just reek of a good old cup tie. As a cross from the right hand side, headed away by Maguire, knocked back in by Rodgers. Burns is there, right side, can't get past Bruno Fernandes, and goes sliding in was Burns. He's done well to prevent that clearance, and Grimsby have got it back through Vernon. Here is Vernon again, right hand side of the area with the cross into the penalty area, and it will be brought away now by Dallo. Strong running up towards the halfway line, and Mbumo now coming forward. Cunha goes in for a 50-50, out towards Ahmad, right corner of the area, crossing low, Sesko striving, but both McJanet and the keeper were there to repel it. The ball is fired in and fired wide and out for a goal kick. We'll go to Everton, Mike Maine.
51 minutes played, Everton 1, Mansfield 0. It's been coming. Alcaraz, 20-yard hit from the right of the D into the right of the goal. Bright start, and it's counted. Everton 1, Mansfield 0.
Filthy conditions. You can see the rain bouncing off the roof of the pontoon stand away towards our right. And they're bouncing in that end as well. Look at them, the black and white striped shirt Grimsby fans. Absolutely loving it.
It's biblical rain, isn't it? I mean, it's absolutely hammering it down.
Goal kick taken by Christy Pym. Flash of lightning as well. Headed forward then by Hughes. Let's get another update. Bruges Rangers, Kenny Crawford.
50 minutes gone. Club Brugge 6, 10-man Rangers 0 on the night. 9-1 to the Belgians on aggregate. It's Christos Solis with a neat finish into the bottom right-hand corner, and there is so much of this game left to go. Club Brugge 6, Rangers 0.
Oh dear. Sports Extra 3, should anyone want to listen to that still. And commentary on Sports Extra 2 of the US Open tennis. Katie Smith.
The British number 2 leads by 2-0 against the Argentine Comensania, but the world number 54 does have a break in this third set. So Cameron Norrie with a bit of work to do to reach this third round.
They often talk about the leaky roof at Old Trafford, part of the guttering here in this main stand, which is understandable, bearing in mind it dates back all the way to 1901. Has got a leak, so that's cascading down just to the left of the Manchester United dugout here in the main stand, where Grimsby Town, their fans are literally singing in the rain. They are leading by 2-0. Manchester United, they've got to show so much urgency. They've got to match the desire levels of Grimsby Town, because they were second best in the first half. As the ball now with Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is forward of the centre circle. Mainu on the stretch gets there, nicks it out towards that
slow,
side.
Ian. It's all so slow, and that allows Grimsby to get back into the shape. Bodies behind the ball.
And Bumo, right-hand side. Grimsby doubled up on him on that right. Ball played back, chipped forward by Bruno Fernandes. This now is an opportunity for Cunha, doesn't reach him. And actually, such is the ferocity of the rain, the ball is actually not running freely, because I think that was an opportunity there. Now the ball is played forward. This is Gardner. Gardner enters the area. He's got to go it alone. There's nobody up with him. The angle is very, very tight. He holds the ball up. And incredibly, the 19-year-old has just won a corner kick against all odds.
Yeah, he does well, makes a run in the right-hand channel. 1v1 with Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire does well, actually. Holds him up, muscles him a little bit, but he doesn't stop, does he, Gardner? Persists and wins the corner.
Absolutely pelting it down. Not that the Grimsby Town supporters care a jot, and neither does David Artell, getting soaked to the skin in front of us watching on. His side lead by 2-0. Corner kick comes in from the right-hand side. It's an in-swinger. It was awkward. Manchester United's defence deal with it. Ahmad now brings the ball away, gets it out from underneath him and runs forward over the halfway line. Sesko and Mbumo are going up with him. But again, the black and white shirts are back there. They have worked so hard off the ball as well, have Grimsby Town. And once again, with the exception of everybody bar Gardner, they are all back behind the ball. This could be one of the great nights for Grimsby Town. They knocked out Liverpool when they were the holders at Anfield in 2001. As I mentioned earlier in the first half, I was here 20 years ago when they beat Tottenham by 1-0. But they're leading Manchester United by 2-0. The ball getting stuck a little bit as the players going for the challenge. There is surface water to be seen as the ball is hit long and forward by Burns, but Gardner had checked his run, and it goes straight to Andre Onana. Still 2-0 to the League Two team.
That's Grimsby's threat, isn't it, as Manchester United have been more threatening in this second half. Blimey, they had to show more urgency, but Gardner has that pace. He's got the beating of Harry Maguire, ball in behind.
Here is Cunha coming forward. Look at them sliding. It's turning into a knockout. Free kick. Let's go to Aaron Paul at Oxford.
4 for Brighton. Stefano Zimas has a debut goal, on for only a few minutes, played through, slotted the ball coolly past Matty Ingram. Oxford 0, Brighton 4.
And it would be an almighty knockout as well for Manchester United if they are to exit this competition.
Oh, absolutely. They've just got to... Well, they've got to get the next goal first and foremost, and then build momentum, and also, Ian, hope that Grimsby, that their intensity levels drop, because they've been absolutely phenomenal for 55 minutes.
But the conditions now, because of that surface water, will certainly be, I was going to say, a leveller. That's hard to say that when Grimsby were the better side in the first half. Anyway, free kick for Manchester United and Mbumo to take it. Right arm goes aloft. It's 30 yards out from goal. Sweeps this one in. Header just over the top. It was a diving header. It was young Aidan Heaven who tried to get on the end of it. Off target, goal kick. 2-0 still to Grimsby.
Yeah, it was a ball floated in lazily from Brian Mbumo, and not great pace on the ball. And I tell you though, Heaven's just got to direct that on target. He doesn't. Over the bar. Big chance for Manchester United.
Grimsby Town are looking to go 7 unbeaten in all competitions at the start of a season since the 81-82 campaign under George Kerr when they were a second division side. They're attacking now with Harvey Rogers, right-hand side. The right-back waits, plays it out towards Burns, sweeps over a cross, left-footed, it hangs in the air, the downward header. It reared up from Burnham and bounced into the hands of Onana, who looks for the early release. They've got just over half an hour, Manchester United. They're 2-0 down. Remember, no extra time. Should they find the 2 goals, would go straight to a penalty shootout. Mind you, finding one's hard enough for them.
Oh, absolutely. Tell you, that Burnham header had some venom, didn't it? Floated ball to the far post, mismatch. Burnham and Diallo, and it fizzed off the surface, didn't it? The header, water spraying up and straight at Onana.
Manchester United with Mainu, had his shirt pulled. Tony Harrington, though, I think he's going to let that one ride. There'll be no action taken against the left-back, Jayden Sweeney, who's not averse to coming in field into that inverted role. Manchester United with Fernandez, forward ball. Won't go through towards Cunha. Sesko will give chase. And splashing his way through the puddles, it's seen all the way back to Christy Pym. Very experienced 30-year-old goalkeeper. This is the 19-year-old who has done well no, he didn't keep it in play. Cameron Gardner. At some stage, I'm expecting Jace Cabia, the leading scorer, to come on, because the 19-year-old has worked hard, but you are thinking there's only so long he can keep running in these heavy conditions.
Yeah, but that may be the reason he was picked, because of his running power. Really caused that Manchester United back three a lot of problems. I, like you, I've not seen a lot of Grimsby in a while, but Cabia's goal record, you think, he would start, but he had, but Gardner, to his credit, has really been more than nuisance value. That Manchester United back line.
Bruno Fernandes sweeps the ball forward, controlled by Ahmed, now coming forward on that right-hand side. On the overlapped is De Ligt, it's his low ball in, and it's cut out by McEachran. George McEachran, picked up on a free last year from Swindon Town. Ahmed keeps the ball in play, Bruno Fernandes with the cross, and another header out by McEachran, just dropping in front of that back four. Mainu plays it back to Fernandes once more, comes forward this time, 30 yards out, plays it out towards Ahmed. De Ligt has to try and control the ball in the puddles. There was a slip there from the United player. Cunha hits it first time and low, blocked. That was a foul by Maguire. Went to play the ball, caught Cameron Gardner. Free kick to Grimsby, midway through the Grimsby half. Tony Harrington without any hesitation. Oxford United, Brighton and Hove Albion, Aaron Paul.
Let me tell you, Brighton have a finisher on their hands. Stefano Zimas has bagged his second really gorgeous finish in from around the penalty spot. Oxford 0, Brighton 5. Ian, I'm going to have no problems getting out of the car park tonight.
Well, if only could get into the car park here at Grimsby. Fulham leading Bristol City still by 2-0. Everton lead Mansfield by 1-0. They won't be wanting to leave the ground, I can tell you, the Grimsby supporters, let alone the car park.
It's a rarity for you not to... It's a preference with the parking in?
Well, actually, even the Grimsby Town players couldn't park in their normal car park, I'm told today, because they had to have enough room to allow the Manchester United players in, so they had to park in a certain location, and the Grimsby players arrived here on a bus to bring them to the ground. Wonder how that went down in the dressing room.
A team bus, I take it, not just a sort of local bus.
Well, do you know that the number 57 runs down Grimsby Road? Here is Mainu coming forward for Manchester United. Mainu cut out there by Sweeney, the left back tucked in. 61 minutes play. Bruno Fernandes being booed by the raucous tiny crowd here at this packed out Blundell Park, as this now is Mbeumo offside against Ahmad. Their last meeting in 1948, it was a 1-1 draw in the old First Division. United were managed by Sir Matt Busby. Jack Rowley with a late equaliser after Jimmy McGowan had given Grimsby a 36-minute lead. Well, 77 years on, Grimsby went in at half-time with a 2-goal lead, and they'll be hoping not to be pegged back on this occasion, as there is activity down in front of us for Grimsby Town. And I can see that we're going to have Henry Brown a teenager at 18 years of age. He's going to be coming on, a midfielder, been at the club academy since the age of 8. As Cunha into the penalty area and Boomer's first time shot blocked. Sesko lets it run through. Dallo passes the ball to the edge of the area. There is McCachran sliding in, still tenacious in the tackle.
He's got a bit of cramp. I tell you what, Ian, second half especially, he's made some really important interceptions in and around the box for his Grimsby team.
And the other player who's going to be coming on is Giza Turi, who they signed from Vikingur Gotha in the Faroe Islands. And therein lies a story as the ball is passed out wide for Manchester United. Still looking to try and work their way back into the game. Fernandez will shoot from distance. Very good save by Christy Pym. That must have been a good 25 yards out. It was low left-footed. It skidded across the wet surface and Pym was down with a strong left hand.
Yeah, what a save this is. Flings himself to his left. What was important as well, not just a save, he actually got up and gathered the ball. I think there were 2 Manchester United forwards in close attendance. Really smart goalkeeping, crucial. And Grimsby don't concede.
So the players who are going to be going off, as Mason Mount is going to be coming on, Henry Brown is going to replace Charles Vernon, who got the first goal for Grimsby Town. Back in his second spell of the club, he's getting a standing ovation. And Kieran Green, the vice-captain, hard-working midfielder, spent a large part of his career in non-league, comes off, and Giza Turi comes on, named after his father, who was a goalkeeper for the Hungarian side Zalaegerszeg, and his dad actually once played against Manchester United in the Champions League tie in 2001 as a substitute for Sasa Ilic for the last 15 minutes, and he's now the goalkeeping coach for the Faroe Islands. He might well have a better outcome than that of his dad, as Mason Mount has come on, and the player who's gone off is Aidan Heaven. So the young defender has been sacrificed. Mason Mount comes on, but time is running out for Manchester United. So at the minute, is it that Dallo has gone into the back three with De Ligt and Maguire, and Mason Mount's playing as a left wing back?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how many career games Mason Mount has had as a left wing back, but I would hazard a guess not many, Ian.
I would tend to agree with you, Christopher. 2-0 to Grimsby, 65 minutes played. Ball played forward, and that's going to just go all the way through to Christy Pym. The rain has relented. I did say to David Artell, I said, how do you sign a player from the Faroes? And that was that story that Jason, the co-owner, was telling us about with Steve ahead of the game. That through the data that they used, the same data that Brighton used, they were able to pick him up. They were looking at 2 players initially, and they had that little road trip via Copenhagen, ended up in a Michelin restaurant, and had sea urchin for something to eat. As Ahmad comes forward, still the puddles remain. Out it goes to that right-hand side. Maynard with a cross. Sesko is there, but he turned his back on where the ball was coming from the right-hand side. And Grimsby's defence were able to clear the ball away. We're approaching the midway point of the second half very, very soon. And it is still 2-0 to the League Two side.
To a man, Grimsby have defended superbly. It's one hell of a ball in from the right-hand side. I think it was Sweeney and Warren together really attacking it well and not giving Sesko any space in that 6-yard box.
De Ligt tries to send over the cross, blocked. Manchester United throw in that gap between the family stand and the Osman stand away towards our left. That's where the silent away supporters are housed in 2/3 of that stand. 1,200 of them haven't had a great deal to cheer. Cunha, Fernandez goes short and square, and Mbeumo out towards Ahmad. Ahmad sends in the cross. Mason Mount tries to get on the end of it. There was Harvey Rodgers, heads it behind for a corner kick to Manchester United, who still require 2 goals, and we've got about 23 minutes remaining.
Yeah, good defending at the far post from the Grimsby right back. You feel they're just starting to push Grimsby back though. Manchester United started to dominate.
A tense last 20-odd minutes remaining for Grimsby Town supporters listening to 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app as their side lead by 2-0, both goals coming in the first half. Mbeumo looks for Mason Mount, downward header into the 6-yard box, cleared away by McJanet. Should be kept in play by Dara Burns on this near side. Making the run ahead of him is Brown. Cunha went to ground far too easily. Brown, was he fouled by Cunha? Tony Harrington, the referee, says not. Manchester United now are showing urgency that was certainly lacking in the first half. De Ligt goes forward after leaving the ball for Mbeumo, coming in off that right touchline and running forward. Ball now back towards De Ligt, who fires it over from inside the penalty area, right-footed. Goal kick, still 2-0 Grimsby.
Maybe doing De Ligt a disservice here. Good run forward, and Mbeumo on that right-hand side. Little jink and lovely pass with the outside of his left foot into the path of De Ligt. De Ligt going for goal himself. Angle against him, high and wide.
Since the start of the 2015-2016 season, only 7 League Two clubs have knocked out Premier League opposition in the League Cup at 58 attempts. Wimbledon did it last year against Ipswich on penalties. This would be huge, and the ramifications could be huge too.
Well, and the question I'd like to ask you, and I don't know whether you know the answer, where would this rank in terms of embarrassing defeats for Manchester United over the club's history?
I think it would be possibly one of the most embarrassing, bearing in mind that the York City one, who were a third-tier team 30 years ago, was over 2 legs. MK Dons, when they lost 4-0, they were a third-tier side. They have never lost to a team from the 4th tier in the 11 previous instances in this competition. And also, you talk about that gulf between the two of the finances that we highlighted with that Sesko stat in the first half. Absolutely massive. Grimsby Town lead 2-0, offside against Gardner. Maguire had just stepped up in the nick of time. But still, they're not sitting back, are they, Grimsby?
No, and Gardner's actually been a really good focal point for them. Just made his run a little bit early, and that was the right back, Harvey Rogers, bombing forward on that right-hand side. They're still really being positive in the way that they've approached this game.
8,647 is the official attendance, 1,169 from Manchester. As the ball is played forward, and Mbeumo keeps it alive with a header at the far post. The overhead kick from Sesko doesn't quite come off, and it's volleyed away. Goal at Oxford, Aaron Paul.
So Brighton this time, Thomas Watson curling in left side of the area, right-footed, gorgeous goal, his first since arriving from Sunderland. Oxford 0, Brighton 6.
So maths wasn't my strong point, but if you deduct 1,169 from 8,647, whatever you get for that amount, you'd be able to say I was there for the first meeting between these two sides. The 39th meeting, but the first since 1948, when polo mints were introduced and the NHS was launched. 7,478, says Gary. I'll trust you.
I'm glad you made that clear. That wasn't you who worked that out.
Listen, if I had tried, I would have been certainly out by at least 1, maybe even more than 1. Burns on the halfway line, forward ball, Brown, ball inside, might fall here to Gardner. Gardner steadies himself. Oh, what a goal by Gardner, but the flag is up and it will not count, and the celebrations are cut short. There is no VAR to review it. Oh my word, they were really ready to celebrate then, but the flag went up straight away. Didn't he take it well, Gardner?
Oh, right-hand side of the box. The flag did go up early, but on his left foot, just fed it into the far corner.
Still, that would have buried Manchester United. A goal at that stage with 18 minutes remaining. Incidentally, it's the second goal that they've had ruled out as well, Grimsby, who lead 2-0.
Yeah, I think he took up, he was just in an offside position and the ball was slipped through. It came off a Manchester United player though, didn't it? And then picked the ball up and curled it into that far post. Yeah, he's just off when the ball's played, I think.
I think that might be the last touch of the action as well, as far as Gardner is concerned. Because there are two players coming on. Jace Cavia, who's the striker, signed from Truro, from the North League, the National League South champions, did ever so well for Truro last season. Cameron Gardner's going to get a great ovation. Jace Cavia, 25 years of age, will come on. Everybody rises to their feet to acknowledge the efforts of the 19-year-old. And then Clark Adore, who was only signed yesterday from Bradford City, out of favour at Valley Parade, he is going to come on for his debut, and he will be replacing George McEachran in the midfield. 17 minutes remaining. Grimsby Town have been immense. Manchester United are fortunate that third goal didn't count. They're still in the tie if they can get a goal, but time is desperately running out.
Yeah, just fresh legs for David Artell's team at the door, and Cavia coming on. But I've got to tell you, so impressed with Cameron Gardner, his performance all round.
Now an opportunity for Brown to run forward on that left-hand side. Brown, left corner of the area. Brown's effort was blocked by Ahmad and rebounds in front of that two-tiered stand on the far side, and it will go out for a Grimsby throw. Grimsby have been marvellous. Manchester United atrocious in the first half. They have improved in the second.
They sort of had to, didn't they?
Certainly that Pym save was a vital one to keep out Fernandez from that long-range effort, because had that crept in after 63 minutes, Manchester United would have had toe back in the tie. 16 minutes remain though here at Blundell Park. 5 Live Sport, also available on the BBC Sounds app. Ball goes back towards Onana, closed down, gets it away in his luminous goalkeeping outfit. Mount can't get there, neither does Harvey Rogers, the right back. Ruben Amorim still desperate to get some instructions across. And Grimsby are in no real hurry to take the throw on this near side, but they're going to have to go back a little bit further. Rogers was creeping down the touchline on this near side, the right.
I mean, a penny for Ruben Amorim's thoughts. What at this moment in time is he thinking?
Here is Mainu. Mainu not fancied by Ruben Amorim, it would seem, but gets the ball towards Mbumo. Mbumo now runs forward, and Mbumo shoots, and Mbumo gets Manchester United back in the tie. He's reduced the arrears, low left-footed, finds the bottom left-hand corner. What a finish we have now. 15 minutes remaining. Grimsby Town 2, Manchester United 1, and Mbumo has scored his first goal for the club.
In the Grimsby back line, they just back off, and Mbumo inside. How many times have we seen this on his favoured left foot? 18 yards out, just picks that bottom right-hand corner. Feasible, passes it, bends it in. It's a wonderful finish. And Grimsby have got some hanging on to do now.
Yes, they have. It is going to be a dramatic 15 minutes that remain now here. Because to Grimsby, do they stick, do they twist? All of a sudden, a penny for the thoughts of David Artell.
You just sense now, for the first time this stadium, a little bit of silence, isn't it? Nervousness is naturally creeping in.
Onana plays the ball out short, and this now is with Dallo. And Mbumo on that right touchline passes the ball all the way back to Harry Maguire. 14 minutes remain. Stirring finish here in Cleethorpes on the banks of the River Humber.
See, I'm always a great believer in games like this, Ian. Don't make too many changes. Play your strongest team, get in front and see the game out. Then you can bring players off the bench. And Mbumo, really good player, fantastic finish from him. Manchester United, a bit of hope now.
Is that what you did when you were your Lincoln side here in the 2-2 draw?
We didn't have any good players.
Here is Fernandez. Brown holds off the challenge, can't get there. Dallo will pick up the loose ball as the teenager lost the ball. Now Ahmad can come forward, just slips it into Fernandez on the right, back towards Ahmad, who's continued his run. Right side of the penalty area. Ahmad's cross is very, very deep. Mason Mount's going to struggle to retrieve that. One bounce and it goes out for a throw. In fact, out for a goal kick down by the corner flag away in the left-hand corner. 13 minutes remaining. This is going to be an agonising 13 minutes.
It is, yeah. Time is going very slowly now, isn't it, for the Grimsby fans and players alike. Harvey Rogers, the Grimsby right back, has gone down. He's had a good game at right back. Big, tall and strong, and got himself forward, picked his moments.
Rogers is getting treatment, being tended to by 2 physios. Opportunity to remind you that we've got 6 Premier League commentaries this weekend, plus the Old Firm. Saturday's 5 Live Sport from midday. Manchester United Burnley at 3. Leeds United Newcastle at 5:30. And also at 3 on Saturday afternoon, Spurs against Bournemouth will be on Sports Extra. Sunday, the programme starts at the slightly earlier time of 10 to 12. Rangers Celtic live from midday. Brighton Manchester City at 2. Nottingham Forest West Ham incidentally on Sports Extra. Then Liverpool Arsenal at 4:30. 12 minutes remaining, still the treatment, and at this opportunity both managers taking an advantage to speak to their players with impromptu team talk at the side of the pitch.
Yeah, and you just wonder who this will suit better. Manchester United getting that goal than Burmo not so long ago. Will they be able to carry on that momentum? Here's another sub for Grimsby. Rogers has gone off, unfortunately for him and Grimsby.
Rhys Staunton coming on for Harvey Rogers. Signed from Spennymoor in the summer after an impressive time in the northeast. 2-year deal. Made his first start against Accrington at the weekend at left back, did Rhys Staunton.
Yep. Sweeney's come over from left back to right back for David Artell's team, and Staunton into his favoured position.
Full time at Oxford United, Aaron Paul.
Oxford 0, Brighton 6. Bossagli, Gruder, Gomez, Watson and Zimas all on the score sheet for Fabian Hertzler's side, who made it look routine. Oxford 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 6.
Just over 10 minutes remaining of normal time. Grimsby Town 2, Manchester United 1. Manchester United through Mbumo getting a goal back. Grimsby drop off as Mainu drives forward from the midfield, drifting out towards the right hand side where Ahmad lies in wait. We can still see the surface water, although the rain has now stopped. Ahmad rolls it back, doesn't run too truly towards Dallow, goes infield now towards Maguire, gives it back to Dallow. Here is Mbumo midway through the Grimsby half. Ahmad looks to go on the outside of Staunton, the substitute, who, fresh on the field, holds him off and will clear long with a measured clearance up towards Cabia. Coming back though at the moment, that's the worry for Grimsby Town. Manchester United with their reinforcements, but Grimsby get a free kick in the central part of their half, and Xerxes is going to be coming on for what will be a final throw of the dice for Ruben Amorim.
Yeah, this is it for Ruben Amorim. What we're into the last 10 minutes. Just with Cabia going as that central striker, who scored goals this season, but Cameron Gardner just more of a physical presence, and it's not been easier for Cabia to get into the game particularly.
One gentleman stood up just in front of us away towards our left. He struggled to get the chant going. I think the Grimsby supporters were just full of nerves at that stage, but now all of a sudden it gathers momentum as Mason Mount on this near side, the left. De Ligt makes a run into the penalty area, left-hand side. Block though comes in from Gizaturi. Mason Mount didn't keep the ball in play. Oh, he did. Near side, the left. Turi still in front of him, and it will be a Grimsby throw down by the corner flag on this near side. Ruben Amorim getting his final instructions across to Joshua Xerxes for his first appearance of the season, and it is Ahmad who is going to be going off. Manchester United need a goal with 8 minutes of normal time remaining. Otherwise, Grimsby Town will be pulling off one of the great upsets in their history. Full time at Fulham, John Southall.
Fulham 2, Bristol City 0. Comfortable this for Fulham. 2 goals in the opening 21 minutes. More than enough. Tanner with an own goal for the first under pressure from Jimenez. Jimenez added the second. Bristol City stirred late on. Mehmeti was close in added time. And Mayulo struck the post. But all too late. Fulham eased into the third round. They've won 2-0.
De Ligt, it seems, has just stayed forward now for Manchester United. Fernandes plays it short down the line on this near side. Mason Mount to Mainu. Xerxes touches the ball back. Grimsby have dropped everybody back behind the ball. They're almost now just left with 2 at the back, United, in Maguire and Dalot. Here now is Cunha to Fernandes. Fernandes tries to get it through, but the black and white striped shirts get the ball away. Downward header runs off the head of... it was Sweeney. Kept the ball in play on this near side. This now is Mason Mount, tries to roll away from one challenge of Kiza Toure. Xerxes slides in. Free kick is given though in favour of Grimsby Town. Probably for the first time in the night, they can't get out, Grimsby.
No, and I was just going to say that they've struggled to get up the pitch. They've put so much into this game, haven't they? And you can see them they're just flagging. Only 7 minutes of normal time to go. Manchester United, Xerxes going on. He's playing up narrow on that right-hand side, where Mburmo actually came on at half-time. And Mburmo now as the right wing-back for Manchester United.
De Ligt's downward header, helped on its way by Mason Mount. Coming across on this near side. Warren it was who volleys the ball out of play for a throw. Updated attendance, 8,747. If that's to try and throw a curveball with my mathematics, it's worked. We'll leave it out. But 8,747 is the updated attendance, and no, 100 people haven't just crept in at the last minute after hearing the scoreline on 5 Live. De Ligt, but Grimsby 2 lead by 2-1 with 6 minutes remaining. Fernandes tries to switch play out towards the right-hand side. Headed away. Dalot is the one who's got to try and run back inside his own half. Plays it short down the line. Mbumo infield. Bruno Fernandes, pacey ball looking towards Sesko. McJanet hasn't dealt with it. Sesko could profit. He wasn't helped by the puddles there, was he, McJanet? And in the end, he actually recovered very, very well to see it back towards his goalkeeper.
Yeah, you're right. It just looked for a second as if Sesko was going to get in an error. He hasn't made many, McJanet, this evening. Slipped on the surface, didn't read the play very well, and then he just that determination, sheer grit to make up from his error.
That would have been cruel on Cameron McJanet.
Stopped on him, didn't it? The ball
it
on
did.
The surface.
Missed Saturday through injury. Back in the starting lineup tonight. Here is Xerxes picking the ball up midway through the Grimsby half. Xerxes now leaves it for Mainu. Out to the right again for Mbumo. Mbumo level with the penalty area up against Staunton, the left back. Mbumo sends over the cross. De Ligt is there. Couldn't keep his header down, running in far post inside the 6-yard area. Came off a Grimsby head. Behind it goes for a corner kick. 5 minutes remaining. Grimsby 2, Manchester United 1.
I don't know who the Grimsby defender is down in the box.
Dara Burns.
There you go. But that's a mismatch, isn't it? De Ligt all over him at the back post, but Burns stood his ground well, because I'm pretty certain De Ligt would have hammered his header home there from 6 yards.
Corner kick to be taken. Mike Mainu. Goal comes in. Bit of a scramble inside the area. Good block by Pym. Down it goes into the ground and goes out wide. What a scramble that was.
Honestly, the save from Pym in there is a corner to the back post. He has made an unbelievable save. It's Maguire who thinks he's headed it in, then the ball pops up, then there's a header, and Pym flying out, makes himself big, makes a save, and then goes down and gathers the ball. Little fist pump there.
He's made 2 important stops in this second
That's
half.
off Maguire again, point blank range. Maguire, left foot volley, great acrobatics from Harry Maguire. It's 3 yards out, and I think it hits Pym in the face. Unbelievable piece of goalkeeping.
4 minutes remaining. Referee's blown his whistle. I think we can go to Everton Mansfield. Mike Mainu.
Minutes left. Everton 1, Mansfield 0, and Jais just pokes it into the side netting, running through at speed. Tyler Dibling's on for his first appearance since a £35 million move. It is still Everton 1, Mansfield 0.
Updating the tennis, Katie Smith.
A very gritty display from Cam Norrie here. He leads by 2 sets against Comensana in the second round. He was a breakdown. The Argentine was serving for the set. Norrie hung in and broke back. We are back on serve.
Cabia has been shown a yellow card. I think it was Cabia from referee Tony Harrington. We've got 3 and a bit minutes remaining. Commentary of the tennis, by the way, is on Sports Extra 2. Maguire's now finishing the game up front. They've hardly got anybody at the back now. They've got Dallo and Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes lifts the ball in, headed up in the air by McJanet. Mason Mount looks for Cunha on the edge of the area. Cunha tries to get it back, does so, leans into the challenge, runs out left-hand side. Excellent block coming in from Jaden Sweeney. All hands to the pump now for Grimsby Town. Manchester United coming on strong. They've got another corner as they still trail 2-1. And Tony Harrington is keeping his eye on a lot of players as the corner has to be taken quickly on this near side, the left, again delivered towards the far post. Harrington, the referee's blown his whistle. Has to be retaken. Copenhagen 2, Basel 0 is the latest score in the Champions League. That'll see Copenhagen going through to the Champions League phase. The draw for that is tomorrow. 2 minutes remaining of normal time, and a tense 2 minutes. It will be here at Blundell Park. Another corner kick, and again the referee isn't happy. And again he blows his whistle and makes his way into that crowded penalty area. And he's faced by so many red shirts, and a yellow card has been shown. In fact, 2 yellow cards have been shown. I think De Ligt might be one of them.
Yeah, bit of grappling at the far post. De Ligt goes down far too easily there. Tries to buy a penalty. Corner's not even been taken.
Corner on this near side. Mason Mount again goes deep towards the far post, and the header from Harry Maguire. Manchester United have rescued it with 90 seconds remaining. They were 2-0 down. They have silenced Blundell Park. Manchester United with a late equaliser to save the blushes of Ruben Amorim. 2-2.
Yeah, nearly scored moments earlier at that back post. Harry Maguire. It's a brilliant ball in, and Maguire just goes in at the back post, 2 yards out, heads the ball in, simple header. All the big guys for Manchester United at the back, shrugs off his defender. I think it's Warren, just eases him out of the way and plants the header in the back of the net. Heartbreak for Grimsby, put so much into this.
When I say save the blushes, there's still every chance Manchester United could go out on penalties if it remains 2-2, because there will be no extra time. Full time at Everton, Mike Maine.
No, we've had another goal in, we're into added time, but Everton have won it now. 2-0, Beto tapped into an open net with a square ball across goal. That'll do for the Toffees. Everton 2, Mansfield 0.
So Everton through along with Fulham and Brighton and Hove Albion from tonight's other ties. Incidentally, the tennis now is on Sports Extra for the probably till about midnight for the remaining day of day 5 of the US Open tennis. That's switched now to Sports Extra. We're going to find out how much added time there will be here at Blundell Park. The daft thing is, if you'd have said to David Artell at the start of the game, it's going to finish 2-2, he'd have taken it. However, it just feels like it's dampened the mood at Blundell Park because they were 2-0 up with 15 minutes to go.
Absolutely. Remember back to that chance Burns had.
Yeah.
3v1, and he couldn't find the back of the net. That would have been 3-0, game over, most certainly. But fair play to Manchester United. Brought the big guns on at half-time, didn't they? And it's about finding a way back into the game, and they have done.
5 minutes of added time at Blundell Park on what has been a dramatic night in the League Cup here on 5 Live. Staunton's cross goes behind and into a rather now nervous-looking pontoon stand away towards our right. Manchester United, they fancy winning it. They want to win it now in the time remaining. They won't want to take the lottery of a penalty shootout. As the Cunha on the halfway line rolls away from Turi. And now towards Mbumo. All the momentum is with Manchester United. Mbumo in towards Cunha. Cunha shoots, saved by the goalkeeper, and forces the ball away with good strong wrist. So much so that there was nobody able there to follow up. It went that far ahead of Mainu. Maguire now in a bit of a foot chase there with Cabia, and he sees it back towards Onana. It's all one way now, it's all Manchester United.
It is, absolutely. Just wondered for a second whether Cabia would get away from Maguire, who did well, used his body well, but here come United again.
This is Mason Mount. Mason Mount with a cross from the left-hand side, and that was a hanging ball that had to be headed behind by McJanet because Xerxes was coming in. It's another corner kick, and Manchester United now are finishing the stronger.
Yeah, and Harry Maguire, he's not moving well. It's just telling, I think it's Bruno, isn't it? Is it Bruno? Is it Mason Mount on the corner? Just hang fire, and is moving to that back post area where all Manchester United's big guys are.
This is where they scored from a corner kick previously, from the left-hand side. Same routine towards the far post. Not kept in play by Mainu. Wriggled underneath his right foot. Now Mbeumo's actually telling all the Manchester United players, get back, just in case Grimsby wanted to take the goal kick quickly. However, now Grimsby are looking to slow it down, and we have about 2.5 minutes of stoppage time remaining at 2-2.
Well, what a game, what a night. And you sense that Grimsby fans applauding their team on, but yeah, it's just they're a little bit shell-shocked, I think, to have that lead and then all of a sudden they just feel us maybe slip by.
There was a chant before Manchester United equalised about how proud the Grimsby Town supporters were of their players, and they've got every right to feel proud the way that they've gone toe-to-toe. That should have been a throw to Grimsby. Instead it went to Manchester United. David Artell is not happy about that. We have got 2 minutes remaining of stoppage time. 2-2. David Artell is having a word with the fourth official, David Webb. Manchester United, is there time to fashion one last opportunity? Xerxes gives the ball away, but it will go for a Manchester United throw in front of that two-tiered stand. Xerxes will take it quickly. Bruno Fernandes, they had to call for the reinforcements, they were needed. Is that loose ball? Kabia can't hold on to it. And running forward as well, is there a foul in the midfield? De Ligt thought so, referee just lets the game flow. This is Burns going in for a challenge with Cunha. Cunha gets away from that challenge. Mount is on the overlap. Mount now on the left-hand side, takes a deflection, and that deflection takes it over the head of Sesko. Cunha inside the penalty area. In he goes towards the far post, and played out towards Mbeumo. Mbeumo on the right-hand side. Mbeumo. Fernandes, edge of the area, looking to turn, left-footed, shoots low, comes out to De Ligt. De Ligt hits it down into the ground and blocks. De Ligt now plays the ball back. By my watch, we have 45 seconds remaining. Grimsby 2, Manchester United 2. Mbeumo runs forward with pace, enters the penalty area, comes outside the box, clips it into the penalty area. Sesko turns, shot blocked, back towards Sesko again, might fall towards De Ligt, and then he's scrambled and then over the bar from close range.
Sesko.
Both of them went for the same ball.
I think it's Sesko. I cannot believe he hasn't scored. So Mbeumo, who's been a massive threat on that right-hand side, just feeds the ball into the centre of the goal. Sesko takes a touch, it's blocked, then it bobbles up. Well, it's one of the Manchester United players 2 yards out, De Ligt or Sesko. It's a horrible miss. They should have won the game there.
I think they got in each other's way, didn't they? De Ligt, I think, certainly impeded, it seems, Sesko. That would have won it in the dying seconds, but from about 4 yards out they blazed the ball over the top of the crossbar. Do not go anywhere on BBC Radio 5 Live, because by my watch the 5 minutes of added on time are up, and there is the final whistle from Tony Harrington, and we now have a penalty shootout. It's finished 2-2.
What a match. Fair play to Grimsby. First half absolutely brilliant, but the longer the game went on, Manchester United made the big substitutions at half-time, and Mbeumo came on. Bruno Fernandes came on, and they just faded out, didn't they? Fizzled out. They put so much into the game, Grimsby, and Mbeumo got that goal back, and then Manchester United really pushed Grimsby back, didn't let them out, and Harry Maguire at the death with a header to get them level all the way to penalties. But Grimsby, they've done themselves proud already, but can they still maybe find a way to win on penalties?
Grimsby were 2 up, Manchester United pegged them back with 2 late goals. Steve, time to draw out the penalty grid chart. I'll leave it with you for a bit.
All right, let's bring Dion Dublin straight back into the conversation. I mean, how do you begin to sum that up, Dion?
Yeah, you know what it is? The subs come on and they change the tempo of the game. For 20 minutes, Man United play 1 and 2 touch, Steve, and Grimsby, with all the energy that they've used in the first half and that second half as well, just start to wilt a little bit through the pace of the game. Bruno comes on and makes sure that everybody plays forward, and Bonru comes on and he's being very direct. And Grimsby started to find it difficult with the movement and the quality of United. But listen, regardless of what happens, they'll hold their head up high. However, they'll feel to themselves, Steve, look how far we've come, let's not let it go.
Chris, I don't want to be flippant here, but if Christy Pym had been in goal for Manchester United and Onana had been in goal for Grimsby, would this tie be over now?
It's a great point. Christy Pym, the save he made from Maguire as a volley 3 yards out, point blank save, a couple of minutes before Maguire actually scored, was phenomenal. And then you just thought, is that Grimsby's night summed up? He was absolutely superb. Who knows what's going to happen in the penalties?
Right, we're keeping it very much with this game, and we've got the penalty shootout to come. Let's just wrap up what else has happened, because we've just had a full-time whistle at Everton. Mike Minor.
Everton have won 2-0, both goals in the second half. They're not at the best of toffees, but Charlie Alcaraz from 20 yards and Beto with a tap-in good enough. The League One side of Mansfield were well organised, but without fully ever testing Mark Travers, who's had a comfortable night on his toffees debut. Everton 2, Mansfield 0.
Well, we're all wondering what next for Ruben Amorim, depending on this penalty shootout. What next for Russell Martin? Kenny Crawford.
Full-time Club Brugge 6, 10-man Rangers 0, 9-1 to the Belgians in aggregate. A battering in Belgium for Rangers. Total humiliation for the Ibrox side. The Europa League is their consolation prize, but it will take a while to shake off this result. And does head coach Russell Martin recover for this one? A terrible 24 hours for Rangers and Celtic, who meet on Sunday in the league. Club Brugge 6, Rangers 0, 9-1 in aggregate.
And in New York, how's Cam Norrie getting on, Katie Smith?
He's been forced into a fourth set in his second round match. Steve Norrie forcing a third set tie break. He was behind the whole way against Francisco Comensana, but Comensana winning 7 points in a row in the breaker to take us to a fourth. You can listen on Sports Extra.
Dion, in your Cambridge United days, you played against Manchester United and ended up, of course, at Manchester United. I'm not suggesting that's going to happen to one of these Grimsby players, but they have got a spotlight on them. And literally, as I say that, the camera pans to Christy Pym, who has become a hero whatever happens now.
Yeah, listen, I think one of the saves from Bruno Fernandes, I think down to his left as well, what a save that was. And then Chris has just mentioned the save from Delict, I think it was, pure bravery. Then he gathers with the bits. He's done great. I thought Gardner done brilliant up top as well. And by the way, I think his goal should have stood, and it could have been 3-0 to Grimsby. I think that goal should have stood.
Right, Pym's ready, Onana's nearly ready, players look like they're ready. We'll be reacting to whatever happens in the next 10 minutes or so through till 10:30 when Tony Livesey takes over. There's a lot of drama to happen between now and then. Ian.
But it's quite apt that the drama is going to take place in front of the pontoon stand, because now it is down to a game of chance. And for Grimsby Town, who've won 5 penalties in their 6 games before tonight, more than any club in the 4 tiers in England, they'll hope to avoid a spot of bother, because they've missed 3 of their previous 5 penalties. And Jace Cabia has missed 2 of those. He's gone to the left, he's gone to the right against Accrington and Newport and missed them both. He's now up against Onana. Grimsby Town with Jace Cabia scores this time. Onana got something on it, but Grimsby have got the first spot kick, 1-0.
Yeah, you said he went to the left and went to the right. I think this one's down the middle. Onana dives to his right, actually gets a hand on it. It's a big penalty, the first one though, psychologically. Yeah, no, I think he may be slightly disappointed with that, the Manchester United goalkeeper.
Bruno Fernandes steps forward. Of course, he missed the penalty against Fulham at the weekend. That was only his 5th missed penalty out of 38 for Manchester United, not including spot kicks. As he places it down, the flashlight's trying to put him off behind that goal. Not the biggest of run-ups for Bruno Fernandes. The spot kick live on BBC Radio 5 Live in this League Cup tie. Fernandes waits and sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Right-footed finds the bottom left-hand corner. It's 1-1 in the shootout.
Yep. Just that slow run, has a little stutter, and Christy Pym goes down to his left-hand side. Bruno spots it and whips it the other side. 1-1.
Now that long walk from the halfway line is for Dara Burns, the 23-year-old Irish winger. Former Irish under-21 international. Actually yet to score for the club. Takes his time. He's been playing on the right, but he's primarily left-footed, and he's just going to take his time as Onana, all in yellow, waits. Dara Burns, hands on hips. The third spot kick in this shootout, runs forward now, left-footed, and scores. Confident penalty, left-footed. Onana goes the other way, 2-1 Grimsby.
Yes, and similar to Bruno Fernandez's penalty in terms of, has a little stutter. A look at Onana, the Manchester United goalkeeper, and left-footed, sends him the wrong way. Goes to the keeper's right, and Onana flies to his left-hand side. 2-1 to Grimsby.
Brian Mbumo, whose goal helped Manchester United get back into the tie. Remember, they were 2-0 down with 15 minutes remaining. Mbumo places the ball down on the spot. Then 2 giant strides back. We know all about what his record was like at Brentford. It's a stuttering run-up from Mbumo, and he scores. Very rarely misses.
He's good, isn't he? Has his own unique style. You mentioned those 2 step backs, little jogging on the spot, looks at the goalkeeper all the way and just slots it beautifully.
Now Clark Adore, the debutant, signed only yesterday from Bradford City. As a substitute, his first appearance, he bounces the ball against his chest as he makes his way into the penalty area towards our right-hand side. Both Grimsby and Manchester United have scored their opening 2 spot kicks. 2-2 in the shootout. Odor up against Onana. There is the whistle from Tony Harrington. Takes his time. Stuttering run up now. And Odor, touched onto the crossbar by Andre Onana. And Grimsby have missed.
Yep, Odor, oh dear. It's a decent save from Onana. Goes down the middle. And Onana gets a big right hand to it and keeps it out. I've got to say, it's a brilliant piece of goalkeeping. Can blame him for the goals earlier, but that's outstanding goalkeeping.
Now Mason Mount to come forward. The England international, who just spins the ball in his hands and then bounces it once and places it down. Up against Christy Pym, who's made some excellent saves, and Christy Pym is going to have to come to the fore here as Mason Mount for Manchester United. Oh, that was a blast penalty that gave Pym no chance whatsoever, right-footed. It was a ferocious strike from Mason Mount.
Yeah, confident penalty from Mason Mount. Goes to Pym's left, Pym reads it, but into the side netting. Pace on the ball, that's unstoppable. Excellent penalty. United's penalties have been unbelievable, really.
Rhys Staunton, the 23-year-old former Bradford City defender, signed from Spennymoor in the summer. This will be another off his left foot. Rhys Staunton up against Onana. And Rhys Staunton coolly guides the ball, sending Onana the wrong way. So that is 3 out of 4 for Grimsby. Manchester United are now sending Dallow forward. And Dallow picks up the ball and walks forward.
Nicely slotted pressure penalty for Staunton, wasn't it? Goes to Onana's right, who goes the wrong way. We have Dallow against Pym. Can Pym be the hero?
Dallow, it's a straight runner. Takes his time and moves to his left. Stuttering run-up, sends the keeper the wrong way, right-footed, finds the bottom right-hand corner, and Manchester United lead by 4-3 in the shootout. And basically it means that for young Henry Brown, the 18-year-old, he's got to score here. Born in Louth, joined the club academy at the age of 8. Only signed his first pro deal in May. What pressure on the teenager. If he scores, it keeps Grimsby's hopes alive. If he misses, Manchester United are through. Brown does score. Onana gets the right way, diving to his right, but it crept in the bottom left-hand corner as we look. That is 4 out of 5 for Grimsby. Manchester United now with Cunha to win it.
A really big moment for Brown, that. Having the courage and the conviction. Good penalty, and Onana got a hand to it, but the pace beat him. Here we go then.
Onana greets Matheus Cunha with an embrace, who places the ball down. This to win it for Manchester United. Short run up, it's a straight run up in front of the pontoon stand. It's Cunha, saved by Pim. Manchester United had a chance to go through. Christy Pim had other ideas. We still have drama, and Grimsby is still fighting.
It's brilliant from Pim. Cunha, confident run up, has a look at Pim. Pim doesn't fall for it, doesn't go early, flings himself to his left, big save.
Cameron McJanet, the 26-year-old defender, missed Accrington Stanley through injury. He's already scored 1 goal this season against Crawley on the opening day. Places the ball down, the central defender. We're into sudden death at 4-4. McJanet left-footed, does score. Onana went the right way. He dived to his left, but McJanet found the bottom corner. And now it's Joshua Zirkzee.
It's a great penalty. Whips it across Onana into the side netting. Brilliant penalty. Squeaky bum time for Zirkzee.
Joshua Zirkzee, a substitute for his first appearance of the season, strides forward in a confident manner. Mariners, Mariners is the deafening cry inside Blundell Park. Everybody is poised with their phones to capture the moment. Zirkzee adjusts the ball. It's a hurried ball back from Zirkzee. Christy Pim waits. Zirkzee runs forward and scores. The silence will tell you that. And we are now at 5-5 and still in sudden death on 5 Live.
That's a great penalty. Shapes to go to Pim's left and wraps his foot round it at the last second. Super penalty from Zirkzee.
Giza Turi, who was signed for 700 Pharaoh's Krona, which I calculated at about 81 grand, that his dad played against Manchester United all those years ago, 24 years ago, for 15 minutes at Old Trafford for his moment of glory. Could this be the moment of glory for Giza Turi? Waits, runs forward now, right-footed, sends the keeper the wrong way. Finds the bottom left-hand corner. That is the 6th successful spot kick for Grimsby. And the pressure shifts back on Manchester United and Kobbie Mainoo.
Well, he stood tall, did Turi. Confident penalty. Absolutely first-class, holding his nerve.
Kobbie Mainoo, who made his debut in this competition, a League Cup quarter-final tie against Charlton. The volume has just been increased once again in Blundell Park by just over 8,500 fans in front of the pontoon stand. Mainoo has to score to keep this spot kick going on in sudden death. Kobbie Mainoo waits. Christy Pim on his goal line is poised. Mainoo scores. Good penalty. High, right-footed. Pim had gone the other way. We're now at 6-6.
Emphatic. Absolutely emphatic. Had to respot the ball, Kobbie Mainoo. Referee made him do it, but blimey, didn't faze him.
Jaden Sweeney, only his 5th appearance for the club, signed on a free from Leyton Orient in the summer. 2-year deal, comes forward, ball just tucked casually under his right arm as he makes his way forward. It's 6-6. Penalty shootout live on 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. The left back, Sweeney, up against Onana. Takes his time, scores, yes! Left-footed, Onana went early. Left-footed, went the wrong way. Now it's Harry Maguire who got that dramatic equaliser. Currently it's 7-6 to Grimsby. Harry Maguire, all the pressure on those broad shoulders of his.
Superb from Sweeney. I think Harry Maguire may just put his foot through this one, Ian. The old blaster, that's what I'm expecting.
Harry Maguire, Chris Sutton predicts will go for power. Again, it's a straight run up from Harry Maguire, which suggests that this will be one that will be forcefully struck. His shoulders rise and then fall. Pym crouched on his goal line. Harry Maguire does go for power and Pym goes the wrong way, and it is 7-7 in the shootout.
Some great penalties. Brilliant from Maguire. Pressure on.
Even Curry is the player now coming forward. He used to be at West Ham United's academy. Made his debut in this competition against Morecambe a few years ago and actually lost on penalties. Approaching 100 appearances for the club now, the 22-year-old. Even Curry for Grimsby Town. 7-7 in the shootout. Curry round runs up left-footed. The keeper got a hand on it, but he went through the middle and he couldn't keep it out. And Curry has scored. And now it's Matthias de Ligt.
Do you know what? Fair play to both sets of players, holding the nerve, going down the middle, Curry. And on a big hand to it, but couldn't keep it out.
They haven't wilted, these Grimsby Town players. They are matching the Manchester United, their illustrious counterparts, penalty for penalty in this shootout. De Ligt again would suggest he's going to go for power, judging by the run-up. It's currently 8-7. De Ligt comes forward now and scores. Pym hardly moved. Right-footed, it's 8-8.
Do you know what? I thought De Ligt was going to go for power down the middle. He didn't. He bluffed Pym, he bluffed me. We're getting to that stage where, I mean, the players who are walking up to take these penalties really don't want to.
Well, we're getting to the stage where the keepers might be having a go, because this is the 10th Grimsby player now to come forward. And it is Tyrrell Warren who got the second goal. The former Manchester United youth team player, the defender, places it down. Tyrrell Warren sends the keeper the wrong way. Excellent penalty. That is the 9th out of 10 penalties for Grimsby Town. And it's Benjamin Sesko now who comes forward.
Oh, he can't miss. He can't miss. Kenny Sesko. He's well down the order, isn't he?
He's well down the order. 10th on the list, the 22-year-old Slovenian international, Benjamin Sesko.
He can't miss.
The tall frame, all at 6'5". Not a long run up for Sesko. Sesko now right-footed, sends the keeper the wrong way. We keep on going at 9-9. It's a shootout live on 5 Live.
I told you he can't miss.
We're now at the keepers. And I'm running out of paper. So Christy Pym, signed from Mansfield in the summer, up against Andre Onana. The two keepers to settle it. Pym sends Onana the wrong way. The 10th penalty for Grimsby Town, as he tosses the ball to Andre Onana. And now Andre Onana up against Christy Pym. He's stuttering run up. He sends the keeper the wrong way, and we're going to go again. It is 10-10 in this saga of a penalty shootout.
It is mental, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. Round again. This might not finish. We might be in Cleethorpes all night, Ian.
It is Jays Cabia once again to come forward.
Oh, you feel for the players. All the ones who have scored. Got to go again. You have that feeling of relief, and then here he goes again.
Jays Cabia going round again. Full circle here at Blundell Park. Cabia, right-footed, sends the keeper the wrong way. The quality of this penalty shootout is extremely high.
Absolutely first class, and now it's all the bluffs, double bluffs. Keeper's thinking, will Bruno Fernandes, Christy Pym will be thinking, will he go the same way? Will he bluff me?
Very soon we could be coming around to Clark O'Dore and maybe Cunha who are the only ones who have missed so far. Bruno Fernandes. Currently 11-10. So Bruno Fernandes in this sudden death shootout. Again, a short run up for Bruno Fernandes. In this epic penalty shootout. Bruno Fernandes, right-footed, sends the keeper the wrong way and scores. It is 11-11.
Did him with the stutter again. I thought Christy Pym may have learned his lesson. But Bruno as cool as you like.
Dara Burns once more will stride forward. There's a little bit of keepy-uppy with 3 touches with the left boot, the right boot and then the left. He's faced by a jumping up and down Andre Onana. Looking like he's doing some morning exercises with his arms going above his head. Makes his way back to this goal line. And Dara Burns now. 11-11 in the shootout. Burns, left-footed, scores. Again, the keeper went the right way. Left-footed, it was above him though. 12-11 to Grimsby Town. This is 5 Live.
That's a courageous penalty, brilliant penalty, great composure. Brian Mbeumo, he doesn't miss, does he? Mbeumo normally, I just think with Mbeumo, you've got to, I'm not telling Christy Pym how to keep goal. Stand up as long as you can with Mbeumo. He waits, just trying to keep him up.
Brian Mbeumo places the ball down. The Grimsby supporters making the racket. The customary short run up for Brian Mbeumo. Stuttering run up and hits the crossbar. Manchester United are out. Brian Mbeumo has rattled the crossbar. The supporters are invading the pitch because Grimsby Town have caused one of the biggest upsets in their history. Manchester United have faced one of the most embarrassing exits in their history. Humiliation on the banks of the Humber and celebration for Grimsby Town because they have beaten Manchester United 12-11 in an epic shootout.
I mean, it's wild. The Grimsby fans invading the pitch. I mean, they've never seen anything like this. Getting over the line, you've got to say, in many respects, they deserve it for the way they played in 90 minutes. But what an embarrassment for Manchester United. Didn't put out his strongest team. Where does Ruben Amorim go from here? The penalty shootout was as mad as the game in many respects, but Grimsby, I mean, that is a giant killing.
Got to say there is a large, well, there's a small quarter of Grimsby supporters who seem more intent in going to taunt the Manchester United fans on that left-hand side, and objects are being thrown between the two. But the majority of the Grimsby supporters have just swarmed on the pitch here because they knocked out Liverpool in 2001. This is a mighty, mighty scalp. And for the first time in Manchester United's illustrious history, they have lost a League Cup tie against fourth-tier opposition. And I've got to say, David Artell and his players must be so proud of what they've accomplished here tonight.
Yeah, one hell of a start to the season. Took the confidence into tonight's game, took the game to Manchester United, pushed them back ahead of half-time. Then they faded a bit, but blimey, they put Manchester United in their place this evening. What a night for Grimsby Town and their support. What a night for David Artell, the whole club. It's incredible. Christy Pym, I mean, to a man, you can go through the whole Grimsby team. They work so hard, superbly organised. But, you know, said at half-time, where do Manchester United go from here? Where does Ruben Amorim go from here? Because I don't think he gets over this. I really don't. The perception of him now, no European football, out of the League Cup, blimey, you talk about the pressure being on in the early stages of this season. Grim night in Grimsby for Ruben's Reds.
But not for Grimsby Town. They will remember this first meeting with Manchester United, first meeting in 77 years. They'll talk about it for years to come. They have knocked out Manchester United in an epic penalty shootout, and they are through to the third round for the first time in 6 years. 2-2 it finished after 90 minutes, and they've won 12-11 on penalties. Steve.
My goodness. Right, in 12 minutes' time, okay, we're handing over to Tony Livesey. There was a point in that penalty shootout I thought I'd be handing over to Dotun Adebayo at 1 a.m. Tony wants to hear from you. 08085 909 693. You can call Grimsby fans, Man United fans. 08085 909 693. Tony Livesey's with you at 10:30. He wants to hear from you. Too happy to talk? Too angry to talk? You can text on 85058. Chris Sutton, what just happened?
I'm astonished being here, seeing the way Grimsby dominated Manchester United in that first half. Amazing. And then the big guns came on and Manchester United get level late on, and you're thinking, well, Manchester United have the momentum going into the penalties, but the quality of most of the penalties was incredible. Went round again, and then Cabia scored. I can't remember who scored the next one for Grimsby, in truth, but Brian Mbeumo, I mean, blimey, you'd put your house on him scoring a penalty. He's so composed, and unfortunately for him, didn't go under the bar. But do you know what? What a night for Grimsby as a football club. They're a club moving in the right direction. They really are. But this is one of those evenings. The fans here tonight, they will remember this forever, for absolutely ever. Astonishing result. Will go down in the club's history as one of the greatest ever wins. For Manchester United, one of the most humiliating ever losses.
Dion Dublin, I think it goes down in football history. The League Cup started in 1960. That is one of its most famous results.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree. I mean, the commentary from Chris and Deno there on the penalties was it was amazing. And, listening to Chris chuckle away every time somebody scores. I honestly didn't think anybody was going to miss, especially Mbeumo. I'm really pleased for Christy Pym because I think he showed bravery, leadership. In goal he was outstanding, in the game he was outstanding, and I think overall, if there's a percentage on this game, and I'm talking about the game itself, I think Grimsby nicked it 60-40, even more than that. And with all the hard work they put in the first half, Steve, you've got to get some kind of reward, and I think they deserve to get past this immovable object you would expect it to have been. And Man United were poor in the first half, poor for 10 minutes in the second half. They had their time, Man United, through the big hitters. They played some good stuff, 1 and 2 touch football. They got their goals, but Grimsby, the way they were organised, fully deserved this.
What I can't get my head around, Dion, is the composure of the Grimsby players in the shootout. Because every so often, once in a blue moon, you get a situation like this where a team like Manchester United finds themselves away from home in a cup competition going to penalties. And what normally happens is the players from the big club are just able to handle that situation better. Some of those Grimsby players took 2 penalties. The goalkeeper scored his brilliantly.
I'm not sure. They just looked as though, we talked about the stats and the percentages before the game and how they signed their players. I don't think a Grimsby player missed the target all night tonight. I think their shots were well inside the crossbar and the post. Percentages, make sure you put good power and good direction on your penalty. Christy Pym's penalty was brilliant. And I just believe that sometimes when you put all that hard work in and preparation and organisation, you kind of get what you deserve. Man United again leaning on Bruno. Harry Maguire, gets a lot of abuse. No Man United player can come out with any credit in the first half, but they got their goals, those 2 senior pros, and helped their club out again, but he just couldn't get over the line. I'm not sure if I've seen a penalty shootout go round like that, Steve, before. I'm not sure I've seen a player take 2 penalties before. That's bizarre.
Chris, on another night, we could do half an hour on Grimsby and half an hour on Manchester United. We've got 7 minutes. So I'll ask you one more on Grimsby and then we'll spin it to what this means for Ruben Amorim. But the players, the Grimsby manager, David Artell, said before this game, why should we be any different against Manchester United? We will be ourselves. We will be Grimsby Town. He has been rewarded for that.
Yeah, and true to his word. And do you know what, though? Credit to him, credit to the players. It's one thing saying it, and then it's another thing for the players to go out against Premier League opposition, big stars, and actually have the courage to play their game and take them on and push them back and show that belief that, you know, there wasn't any inferiority complex from Grimsby. Far from it. It was the other way round in the first half, and they thoroughly deserved it. The first half performance was phenomenal from them, and you know, you could argue they could have been further ahead, and you know, that forced Ruben Amorim into making the changes, and then they just fizzled out. Their intensity fizzled out towards the end of the game for Grimsby, but with everything they'd put into it, that was to be expected in many respects. But then they still had the guts to actually stand up and be counted and take the penalties as well as they did, and go through incredible night.
Sutty, do you think that Grimsby should have been 3 up?
I mean, it came off a Manchester United defender, didn't the ball? When the ball went through. I mean, with me and you know, we're doing the radio. You don't always get the best sort of view of everything. I think he was offside initially. Great finish. That was Gardner, wasn't it? He was phenomenal.
He was
I don't think he's played 20 first team games, but he's not just his running power. I mean, he held the ball up well. His game intelligence was good, and you know, myself and Denner were talking before the game. Cabia, their top scorer, was left on the bench, and you're thinking, well, he's not resting players. We see why Cameron Gardner was you know, got the nod tonight. And it's nights like this, you know, people, the focus on this game. That's when you can make, we know ourselves, Dion. That's when you start making a name for yourself. People will look at him and thinking, blimey, I'll have a bit of that.
Sutty, the old-fashioned centre forwards alive, son. Don't you worry about that.
all this false nine, all this, Don't play with a centre forward. What a load of rubbish.
The old-fashioned centre forward up front for Manchester United missed from about 2 yards out to win the game in the last minute. Let me take you back, Chris, to what you were saying at half-time. The question mark over Ruben Amorim. Can he come back from this if they go out? Discuss.
I think it's going to be very difficult. I mean, last season, what you said, the worst ever Manchester United team. You know, this is one of the worst defeats in the club's history, whether it was on penalties or not. And it's, you know, the start of the season, losing to Arsenal and an OK display, and the sort of issues over the goalkeeper, drawing at Fulham, and sort of they played OK. But now everybody's going to look at this defeat against Grimsby, and I'm not saying the wheels are off at Manchester United, but that's a hell of a bad result for Amorim. And then his judgment comes into question, because if I was Ruben Amorim tonight, there is not a prayer I would have made 8 changes. I'd have played my strongest team, tried to put the game to bed, and then make the changes. That was an error from him, in my book, and he will. I think he'll struggle to come back from this. People will hold this against him. The pressure this season for Ruben Amorim now is well and truly on. Massive games coming up. Well, they've got Burnley at the weekend. Then I think they've got the Manchester derby.
That's right.
I mean,
followed by Chelsea.
I mean, blimey, if I'm him, I'm officially worried.
Will it impact how the players feel about him as well, Dion? I was watching Bruno Fernandes when he took his first penalty, and he just looked furious that it had even got that far.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I
got the same. I actually got the same from his facial expression as well, Steve, as if to say, what are we here? Why are we at this situation? But you go back to Man United starting on. I know Stutty's had a go at him making the changes. I would agree with Stutty to a certain degree, because play your strongest side, you should win the game. However, he makes the changes, and I'm expecting Ugarte and Mainu and Ahmad and Cunha to be enough. Surely, with the right application, Sutty, if they'd have played the game 1 and 2 touch with this side tonight at the right tempo and stood toe-to-toe with Grimsby and fire with fire, they might have got across the line, but they just got out-fought, they got out-battled, they got out-thought. I just found the first half pretty embarrassing as an ex-Man United player.
Chris, let's talk about Andre Onana for a second here, because he was certainly culpable for 1 goal, and you could certainly argue he was culpable for both. We've heard a lot this summer, Manchester United can't transform everything in a window, and they can't sign players in all the positions they need. Well, haven't we just seen over the course of the first couple of weeks of this season that they've got it wrong and that they needed a new number one goalkeeper?
Well, I think everybody would agree with that. You know, Bayinda looks a bag of nerves from crosses, doesn't he? And then Onana had his opportunity tonight. I mean, you know, lapse of concentration. I don't know what it was. Maybe he thought he'd just rock up and you know, it'd be a breeze for him tonight. Anything but how can Ruben Amorim have faith in Onana after that performance? But he wasn't the only one.
No, he wasn't, Suchi. And you know what? Onana, he knows that he's going to be under pressure from the fans. So don't have the ball at your feet for too long. You get it and you give it to one of your teammates, or you get it and you clear it and you squeeze your lines. You don't try and do anything fancy. If you're coming through a cross, open your mouth, go through everybody, take the ball, take the man, take everything. Unfortunately for him, he's made far too many mistakes like that. And I don't believe the defenders in front of him are thinking, yeah, I'm comfortable, I'll pass it back to him. Keep it away from him. He shouldn't have the ball at his feet as much as he does, because he makes too many mistakes, and defenders don't like having a goalkeeper like that behind you.
Grimsby fans, if you've just got back in your cars, 08085 909 693. Give us a call. Tony Livesey's going to be with you in a few minutes' time. He wants to hear from you. Maybe Manchester United fans, you've got stuff to get off your chest. You can also text on 85058. Ian, let's just finish back on the occasion and the night. You know, you have commentated on many, many games in your career. As far as stories go, this must be high up the list.
Yes, very much so. I mean, I was here 20 years ago when Grimsby knocked out Tottenham, a Tottenham side that contained 10 internationals by 1-0. But tonight the drama, I think, was amplified by the nature of how it went in Grimsby's way. They were 2-0 up, and then it was sort of like ripped away from them with them 2 late goals, and then you're thinking we're into the lottery of a penalty shootout. But David Artell talked about his players to embrace the challenge and be brave. And I think they showed great resilience in that penalty shootout. The fact that, you know, they're up against these established international players, and they missed only one spot kick out of the 13 that they took. We mentioned it in commentary. Surprising that Sesko was 10th choice for Manchester United. But for Grimsby Town, one of the great nights in their history, and for the League Cup competition, one of the biggest upsets.
And Ian, I just want to finish with this, because bear in mind, in the next few minutes, there will be a draw for round 3 of the League Cup. And in that draw, half of the English teams that have qualified for Europe will be guaranteed home ties. I think a lot of football fans will have been listening to this remarkable occasion tonight and thinking, especially with it being at Blundell Park, please don't mess with this competition anymore. It's important.
Yeah, I mean, for the second season running, the third round draw, and you're going to have, like, as you say, that pre-draw, because the sides in Europe cannot meet each other. And that's the reason that teams in the Champions League and the Europa League are going to be kept apart. It doesn't impact Crystal Palace should they progress, because the Europa Conference League doesn't begin until October. But the reason that they cannot meet each other, the sides in the Champions League and the Europa League, is that the third round will effectively take place across 2 weeks. Week commencing the 15th and week commencing the 22nd of September. And because the first week is a Champions League week and the second week is a designated Europa League week, and that is the reason why the Football League competition has got to be altered in the way that it has.
And guys, nothing sums up how tonight has gone for Manchester United better than this. Christy Pym, the goalkeeper, has just told television, "I'm fuming. I'm a Manchester United fan." That's it. That's their night in a nutshell, right there. Dion, thank you so much. Great to have you with us. Ian, Chris, top work. Brilliant commentary. Thank you.
Cheers, Steve.
Well, how good was that as a spectacle? And the sound as well. We always say it, pictures are better on the radio, and the sound of silence as every Manchester United penalty went in, and then the delirium of Blundell Park. 08085 909 693. The conversation continues shortly with Tony Livesey. Goodness me, Katie Smith in New York. Match that.
Well, there's some really noisy Argentinian fans here on court 5, but they're not loving the fact that Cam Norrie is now closing in on the third round here. He went 2 sets up before losing a tiebreaker against the world number 54, Francisco Comensano, who was really impressive in that. Norrie, though, had a double break in this fourth set. It's been quite gusty out there. The Argentine pulled one back. He just won't quite go away, but trademark gritty display from the British number 2. He leads now 5-3, 15-all on the Comensano serve. And Novak Djokovic awaits the winner in the third round.
Thank you very much, Katie. And the coverage continues on 5 Sports Extra. If you were listening earlier on Sports Extra 3 in the 100, Trent Rockets men beat Birmingham Phoenix by 3 wickets. They will play Northern Superchargers in the Eliminator on Saturday. There'll be commentary of that on Sports Extra on Saturday at 7 o'clock. Earlier, Trent Rockets women also beat Birmingham Phoenix by 3 wickets. Tony Livesey's up next. My goodness.
I'm on the verge of unilaterally declaring a Grimsby 606.
Yeah, I mean, it feels that way.
Something just made me laugh then. I don't know if you saw this on the telly. The fans were on the pitch, and Grimsby used to be the biggest port in the world for importing haddock and cod, and a Grimsby fan had a sign saying Man United get battered everywhere they go. I thought it was a lovely touch. Right, not that I'm celebrating that, Manchester United fans. Great stuff, Steve. That's what, for the neutral, that's what football's all about.
Yeah, amen. It's incredible. And you've got to love the League Cup as well. What a competition.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.